Vanderbilt come into this game with so much on the line. Not only the Heisman Trophy, but also an outside chance at the college football playoff. Can they answer the pressure that comes with today's game?
It's unique. Like you said, this is normally a game where the pressure's on Tennessee. Like last year, they needed to win to get in the college football playoff. The pressure is on Vandy. It's not just the biggest game in Vanderbilt football history. It's the biggest game in this rivalry's history. And like you mentioned, Vandy's talked a lot, and they've backed it up so far about making the national championship, making the playoffs. Diego making the Heisman pose. They're going to get a chance to back it up. The problem is Tennessee's playing really good football right now.
Tennessee's playing great football. Vandy's offense is on a roll. Diego Pavia will likely be a Heisman finalist. The question is, can he win the whole thing? And as the Volunteers take the field, they're looking for their 7th consecutive win against their rivals from Nashville. Tennessee and Vandy, and a deeper look at Diego Pavia's game day routine with Cole Kubelik when we return. By the swagger of the quarterback, Diego Pavia. Cole Kubelik, how does he get ready for a game like this?
Well, Tom, we first met with Diego Pavia early last season. He told us he watched highlights of Johnny Manziel as he came into every game to pump himself up. So naturally, I asked him before this game, what'd you watch on the way in to get ready? He said, me. Then I asked him, what do you do for a little extra motivation in a game like this? He said, I don't need anything else. I said, do you need contact early to kind of get it going? He said, oh, I've already had that today.
Of course he has, and he's got a lot of highlights to watch. He's been on fire over the last 3 weeks. Brock Taylor has it on a tee. Dwayne Moore is set to return. What a scene in Knoxville. And this sellout crowd into it early. No return. And we expect some chippiness in this one. Joey Aguilar is still new to the Tennessee program and new to this rivalry. The JC transfer leads the SEC in passing yards per game.
Yeah, he's made an instant impact on this offense, especially pushing the ball downfield. His accuracy on those deep shots has been exceptional, and he's a veteran making his 36th career start. He'll need that today because Vanderbilt's playing really good football on the defensive side. Can he weather the storm early and protect the football? Interceptions have been an issue for Joey. That'll be paramount today, and Vandy's showing blitz to open this game.
They are stacked on the line of scrimmage. Aguilar with the check, and he'll get some more help in the backfield. Top 5 offense in college football in points and yards, and at penetration has Tennessee losing a half yard. Let's meet the impact players.
Yeah, Chris Brazzell, one of the best wide receivers in the entire country. You see the ranking there, and the 2 DBs, the corners for Vandy, have struggled at times in coverage. That to me is going to be the story of the game. Can they cover downfield on those deep shots from Tennessee?
Impact players brought to you by Chili's. Aguilar wants to go deep. He's got man coverage, and it is off the hands of the intended receiver, Chris Brazzell II. Everybody in orange in this building, which is about 100,000, thought they saw pass interference.
Yeah, this is just a 50-50 ball to Chris Brazzell with Colby Taylor in coverage. There's a lot of contact there, but that'll set the tone early. So the refs are going to let that play, and they better hold that standard for the rest of the game because Brazzell was trying to fight his way back to the ball, and Colby definitely got a piece of him.
Tennessee's offense high-powered no matter the down. They lead the country in first quarter scoring, but in danger of going 3 and out on their opening possession here this afternoon. Got man coverage again. Aguilar goes underneath. This is Deshaun Bishop, and he gets stuck shy of the 30. Colby Taylor and C.J. Hurd hold him to a gain of 6.
Yeah, so this is going to be a look that Vanderbilt wants to see what Tennessee's blitz zero answer is. They're going to stack everybody at the line of scrimmage, as you see there, and they're going to leak this back to the flats because normally he'd be coming across to block. They're going to bluff. That end would be responsible for him, but he thinks he's blocking. So early on, Vanderbilt wants to test what your answers to the blitz is, and so far, great job by that Vanderbilt defense.
This is only the 3rd time in 12 games that Tennessee will have failed to score on its opening drive. Jackson Ross set to punt it away. Martel Height stands at his own 26 for Vandy. And a fair catch taken at about the 27, 42-yard punt. And we, along with the fans here, say good afternoon to Diego Pavia. He has been sizzling in the month of November. It's been a November to remember. He hopes to end his season in New York, if not the college football playoff.
Tom, he's been on an absolute heater, and you never leave the table on a heater, and he doesn't plan to. 3 straight straight games with over 365 yards passing. This Vanderbilt offense has evolved from kind of a modern triple option, run the football, slow the game down, to a team that can drop back, pass the football frequently, and still beat you. The evolution of Pavia has been exceptional, but he's going to have to deal with this crowd here on Rocky Top all game.
They'll open with a fullback, Gabe Fisher, and the tailback, Cedric Alexander. Pavia hands it off, and Alexander picks up 2 on first down. Let's take a look at Chili's impact players.
Yeah, Cedric Alexander, the running back, does everything for this team. And Trey Richardson, the speedy wide receiver, is a deep threat. Has had a couple massive games back-to-back. And Tennessee has one of the best corners in the entire country. He's a semifinalist for the Jim Thorpe Award. Colton Hood is going to try to lock down this passing attack from Vandy.
That's Richardson in motion. Pavia out of the shotgun, wants to throw. A little out route handled by Richie Hoskins, and that'll set up 3rd and short. 3rd and about 3 for Vanderbilt. Well, they've been an interesting 3rd down team over the course of the season. Actually better at 3rd and medium. Empty backfield for Pavia, 5 wide. They bring an extra man. Pavia to the perimeter, and the catch made right at the marker by Eli Stowers, and that'll be a Vanderbilt first down. What a tandem, Pavia to Stowers.
Oh, it's a great job by Pavia of just feeling Arion Carter coming right here unblocked. He knows he's coming. He's got a quick route to Eli Stowers, his go-to guy. Just waits long enough for Stowers to get outside the break and delivers a strike in coverage.
A nice job by Cade McConnell, the left guard, trying to switch that pressure off, but it was there too quickly, like you said, Jordan, staring right down the barrel of that blitz.
It's been a blessing for Vanderbilt. They've had the same starting 5 on the offensive line all season. Pavia read to go at the end around. And there's room on the perimeter and out to the 45-yard line. That is a gain of 7 on first down. Caleb Barnett. And there's an injured Tennessee player on the far side of the field. That's Jackson Moy, starting tackle.
Yeah, Jackson Moy, one of their best guys up front. Really the strength of this defense is that front 4. We hope he gets up.
Vandy with the ball and driving early.
Side today. Let's go. So we have to go out there and we have to take it. And no matter what happens, no matter what comes, we know that we have everything it takes to fight the adversity, to win the moment, and get back in the middle of each snap. You guys
Blackley told us they spent the week downplaying this rivalry. We have too much on the line to get caught up in the emotions of the long history of this rivalry. And boy, do they ever. Outside chance of a college football playoff. First time ever. Double-digit wins and a straight-ahead run will set up 3rd and short.
That just tells you where Vanderbilt's at, right, with their goals and what they think of themselves. I remember this rivalry when I played in it. Rocky Top was playing in the locker room 24/7. It was all about the emotions, all about this game. Today, it's just another step in Vanderbilt's path to achieve their goals, which are a college football playoff berth, the national championship, a Heisman Trophy for their quarterback.
What else?
A 3rd and short right here.
Kylan Young has entered at the right side. They got A.J. Newberry at tailback. QB sneak.
Oh, it's wide open if they wanted to.
Instead, they go with an end around again. Junior Sherrill has room, and he's got a first down and nearly had 6. Vanderbilt stressing the edges on this opening drive. That's a gain of 19.
Boy, it's really the block by Eli Stowers initially to get the kick-out block on this defender that's trying to set the edge on this little jet sweep handoff. It's a great block by Stowers. Gives Junior Sherrill the ability to cut up inside. Not what we're used to seeing out of Stowers. Not that he's not a good blocker. He really is, but he is such a dangerous weapon as a pass catcher. You saw right there, he can get it done when he needs to as a blocker as well.
Sherrill's really picked it up over the last couple of games. He's been a picture of consistency, a catch in every game of his college career. Pavia rolling left and being chased, and down the sideline, little dance and a cutback inside for Trey Richardson. Cole, how does the pace feel down there to you?
Well, it feels a little bit frantic, but obviously this is a longer drive for Vanderbilt. The intriguing part of that is talking to Clark Lee and Tim Beck before the game time. They both said, we're going to probably try to ramp it up a little bit. Clark Lee was taking me through how they go tempo in practice every day, how their play sheet with tempo plays is more full than it's ever been. But this is almost last year's Vanderbilt offense that we're seeing on the field right now.
They're coming off of a school record 539 passing yards in a blowout win against Kentucky. Opening drive for Vandy after Tennessee went 3 and out. Diego Pavia wants to call his own number, throws in zone, and it's batted away. Stowers, the intended receiver. Andre Turrentine at the man-to-man coverage.
I love the play call. They're trying to sell the quarterback runs, little RPO. Eli Stowers on a glance route. Pavia just left that one behind. If he puts that out in front, could have been a touchdown.
Pavia has already tied the school record for passing touchdowns with 26 on the season. 14 of those coming over the last 3 games, all conference matchups. First time Vandy's been off schedule on this drive. 2nd and 10, flag down. Sherrill can't find the edge. Tripped up in the backfield for a loss of yardage. It's a loss of 7. Tyree West, a senior from Tifton, Georgia, with a big stop.
Boy, we just saw Tennessee.
Illegal motion, number 0 on the offense. The penalty is declined. Result of the play, 3rd down.
So they'll take the 7-yard loss and leave Vandy with the 3rd and 17.
And I was going to say, great job by Tennessee of actually setting the edge on that play where previously they weren't able to. This is where you got to watch Diego Pavia. Don't let him extend the play, create. That's when he's at his best. You want this ball to come out quick. The longer he holds on to it, the more dangerous he is.
This will be the 10th play of the opening drive for Vanderbilt. Play clock late already. Pavia fakes the end around, looking to go deep into coverage and intercepted at the goal line. Idris Farouk has it. And now down to the sideline. Ty Redmond takes it out of bounds for Tennessee. There's a flag on the play back in the far sideline. It looks like it occurred after the pick. This is a long discussion with David Smith and his crew. The flag is down at the far side 4-yard line.
After the interception, illegal forward pass on the intercepting team. That penalty is half the distance to the goal. 1st down, Tennessee.
Farouk pitched it forward to Redmond.
And watch Farouk right here. He's just reading Diego Pavia's eyes the whole time.
The previous play is under video review for the illegal forward
But at
pass.
the end of this route, he's going to drift this way. If he goes upfield, maybe he's got a chance of breaking this one up. Pavia's leading him upfield. Obviously, Farouk was all over it, but you see how the running back drifts towards the sideline there, making it an uncontested interception there for Farouk. You see, not much of a pass, more of a fumble, but
They are reviewing this play. Let's get our rules official, Jerry McGinn, in on this call. Jerry, is this thing adjudicated differently if it was simply a forward fumble versus an intentional toss forward?
Yeah, so replay is looking at two things. Number one, was the interceptor, was the defensive player, was he down with possession? From the shots that we're getting, he's active. He is not down. and he fumbled the ball, and his teammate picked it up and ran it. So I think they're going to overturn it to the advancement where Tennessee is further up the field.
Right, thank you. That'll be a difference of about 7 yards, if I'm not mistaken, give or take, and make things a little bit easier for Joey Aguilar in terms of being backed up. What do you think of Diego Pavia's start to this game?
Well, that was a picture-perfect drive. The creativity going sideline to sideline, the creativity of some of those play calls. This is just Diego forcing a throw that he probably could have used his legs to create escape. 3rd and long like that, in field goal range. Diego's played enough football. He knows the better play is to throw it out of bounds or scramble around, try to make something happen. Don't force that. It takes 3 points at least off the board. And it's going to be paramount for both these teams if they get inside the red zone to capitalize with points every single opportunity they have.
Cole, isn't that kind of the model of Diego Pavia's game? Like, he's going to force some plays and he's going to make some mistakes. The question is whether he ad-libs his way towards Vanderbilt's success.
After video
or not.
review, it was not an illegal forward pass. The ball came loose. It was a fumble caught in the air by Tennessee. The ball was advanced to the 20-yard line. It'll be 1st down at the 20-yard line, Tennessee.
Tom, I agree with you. I think it's been a big part of the Diego Pavia story while he's been at Vanderbilt. Last year, there was a lot of those expletive plays where he would try to take a chance, take a shot, and he would end up going against Vanderbilt or for Vanderbilt. If it was against him, it seemed like they would lose. If they would go for him, it seemed like they would win. I specifically spoke to Tim Beck about that before this game, and he said, man, I can't think of more than 3 or 4 throws that he has forced this entire season. He's been great with that aspect of his game.
And they're not an offense that turns the ball over regardless. Last year leading the nation. Difference of 18 yards after the replay in that return versus the illegal forward pass as Deshaun Bishop carries it for Tennessee. 2nd possession for the Volunteers after going 3 and out. And they're picking up the tempo offensively. Aguilar wanting to go deep post, and he just lobs it downfield and incomplete. We're talking with Josh Heupel about their 1st quarter success. He said a big part of it, every quarterback is different. They've all come in with different ways they want to attack. Joey wants to go deep early. He's not afraid.
Yeah, he wants to let it rip, and you've seen a couple times early they've taken that shot play. I was always run me. I want to get hit. I want to get a run going to get some momentum. Obviously, the deep shot hasn't been there. The pressure on Joey on that one, I think, caused the errant throw.
They lead the country with 14 1/3 points per 1st quarter.
Vandy playing a lot of man coverage early.
And here comes pressure again. Aguilar goes to the slant. That's caught for a 1st down for Tennessee and Braylon Staley. Well, we're talking with Steve Gregory, the defensive coordinator. He said we can't play this game timid or scared. We can't sit back, and they are aggressive.
Yeah, he said he felt good about pressuring, playing man coverage on the outside. We've seen that so far. That time Tennessee won the man coverage matchup.
And a missed tackle. Staley stepped through it, took it to midfield.
Well, this is where Tennessee, with their tempo, starts to force the issue, impose their will on you.
Aguilar hands it off. Huge hole for Bishop. And Deshaun Bishop, the local product out of Carnes High School just up the road, has a pickup of 18. And an injured player, Dante Carter, is down for Vanderbilt. He's motioning towards his left shoulder.
Well, it's a great block on this run by the center, Sam Pendleton. He's going to work up on Brian Longwell and just wall him out to allow Deshaun Bishop to get to the 2nd level untouched. Watch this block right here. This is a really good job of climbing, getting your hands engaged, extending, turning the linebacker to the inside. And Deshaun Bishop, who's been so good for this offense.
Notre Dame transfer. He has started all 12 games at center this season for Josh Heupel's Tennessee Volunteers.
Think about the job that Deshaun Bishop has done this year, replacing the SEC Player of the Year, Dylan Sampson.
Carter helped to the sideline, and this is a guy, Bishop, to your point, he came in as a walk-on.
Yeah, former walk-on. Had some smaller G5 offers, but wanted to play at this level, replacing a giant of a running back in Dylan Sampson, 1,400 plus yards, and his development has been fun to watch. The patience that he plays with, great feel for their run game.
He'll split Staley out to the top of the formation.
You see that catch and run got Vandy out of their man covers. They're now in a cover 4 look. Oh, no, looks like they're going to stay in kind of a zone cover 4 look.
Hand off to the right side. That is bottled up for a second, and Bishop breaks free down the sideline, and another Tennessee first down. A pickup of 15.
And that's what happens. You want to go cover 4 with 4 guys deep and 2 safeties. That means there's only 5 guys in the box. So Tennessee, this is what they do. They play with spacing. They play with numbers. You want to vacate the box and cover deep, we're going to run at you.
Simple numbers game, huh?
Well, you wish it was always that simple,
Yeah.
but that's the base of it. If they're going to only keep 5 guys in the box, that means the advantage is to the offense. They're going to run the football, force those safeties to come down, and then they'll take their shots.
And now swing to the outside. Staley stood up behind the line of scrimmage. Good coverage and a little bit of trash talk downfield.
That was a great tackle by Jordan Matthews, the former Tennessee Vol. Probably why he's getting a little extra trash talk in there.
Well, that was the one Clark Lee told me before the game, Jordan, they were most concerned about. He said, we have to win 2-on-2s on the outside.
Yeah, because if you're going to stop the run, you're going to leave those receivers one-on-one, and if you slip a tackle, it's a touchdown.
Aguilar turns back near side for the screen. Here's Staley. Brought down by Raymond Fontenette.
Well, that play was about a second and a half away from David Sanders denting a face mask on that screen.
Tennessee's right tackle is a true freshman and a physical specimen, 6'8", 305.
Nothing Cole loves more than just big offensive linemen out on the perimeter looking to crush a little DB. All right, here's this walk-up blitz look again. Vanderbilt's going to be in man coverage. You see them all 4 across the board here.
The option look. Aguilar keeps it. And he gets bumped out of bounds inside the 5, an 8-yard option run.
So we saw earlier when they did that, they bluffed with the running back, but they attacked that same defensive end. This time you run option. You block down, you force that defensive end to either take the quarterback or the running back. It's a great cover 0 beater.
And the ball came loose. On 1st and goal, it was recovered after Bryce Cowan punched it out of Bishop's hands.
So now we've seen 2 different cover 0 beaters that Tennessee's gone to. That time, wow. Nearly a disaster for Tennessee. Great job by Cowan of getting his hand on the ball there.
Like a little twist up front. The nose guard slanted across the center. Cowan came right back behind him. A tough one to handle for the interior of the offensive line.
11th play of the drive. Here's Bishop. Spun around. And back to the 2. What do you like here on 3rd and goal?
Well, either like getting Braylon Staley in motion from one side to the other, try to get him an opportunity in the flat. Or maybe you feel like you have 2 opportunities here to punch this in and try to set the tone early.
Yeah, if you think this thing's going to be decided in the 40s, you're going to go for it. Straight ahead, Bishop reaches over for the score. Touchdown, Tennessee.
Boy, watch 2 of the blocks by Wendell Moe and Sam Pendleton. You got Pendleton right there, or Wendell Moe and Pendleton. Watch these 2 one-on-one blocks. You just got to win those. Great job getting extension, getting that defensive lineman Seabrooks into the end zone, and Bishop fell right behind. Wendell Moe, remember, back in the lineup. He was injured versus New Mexico State. Didn't play versus Florida.
And now he's down on the field being tended to by the athletic training staff, looking at his right ankle. This was his 38th career start. They said he could have played against Florida last week. They didn't anticipate needing him, and they didn't. It was a blowout in the swamp. Tennessee scored touchdowns on each of its first 4 possessions. We got the first win in Gainesville since 2003.
See Josh Heupel getting on the iPad already, looking at a couple plays from that drive.
And Josh Heupel's got a pretty good offensive line coach in Glenn Ellerbe he can lean on. Now they're trying to figure out how to fill in Mo's spot.
Well, at least you got some reps last week, as Jordan mentioned. I talked to Glenn Ellerbe actually about Wendell Moe for the game. I said, how glad are you to have 75 back in there? He goes, God, he's a joy to coach. He's a joy to watch play. He does everything the right way, handles himself like a pro in the facility. He's been a leader day one. He stepped on campus as a transfer. He's been a great guard in this system. They're excited to have him back. Glenn Ellerbe did tell me, I'm anxious to see how far he can go today. And I said, do you think he goes the distance? He said, we want him to, think he can, but he is not 100% coming into this game.
And Moy played at Long Beach Poly before going to Arizona. And played a good chunk of the Bama game, all 77 snaps for this Tennessee offense for Wendell Moy. And he's going to need some help getting off the field. Sean Bishop with his 13th rushing touchdown of the season. That capped a 12-play, 80-yard drive. And Josh Heupel said they're going to be deliberate about their tempo in this one. It took nearly 5 minutes off the clock. Even though the headset says go faster, I feel like they had the reins on the offense in terms of using play clock on their second possession of this game. So Max Gilbert waiting to add the point after. On a chilly day here in East Tennessee, where the temperature won't get quite to 50 degrees. Overcast throughout the afternoon. Gilbert from the other side of the state in Memphis, and he is perfect. 91 for 91 on extra points. Tennessee taking advantage with the Big Orange takeaway. And it was a long drive before Deshaun Bishop hit pay dirt. The Volunteers have the early lead on Vanderbilt. 119th meeting between Tennessee and Vanderbilt. It was a series that Vanderbilt dominated when it first started back in the 1890s. Vanderbilt went 11-0-1 over the first 12 with 8 shutouts. They were more concerned with rival Swanee. And then General Nealon showed up and took over. Vanderbilt hasn't entered this matchup as a top 25 team since 1958, and they have never met as ranked opponents head-to-head. Josh Turbeville will kick it off. Trey Richardson back for Vanderbilt. And no return. Let's get to the studio. Here's Matt Berry.
All right, gentlemen, good afternoon. Happy College Football Saturday. We interrupt this College Football Saturday for the Survivor Series. Nikki Bella getting ready to walk in. That's how Galloway walks into the studio every week. Get it exclusively streamed on ESPN.com/WWE for the Survivor Series.
You know, if Diego Pavia doesn't go pro in football,
WWE is going to be all over him.
He was a state champion wrestler growing up in Albuquerque, Volcano Vista High School. Had to go the JUCO route. Home state school didn't recruit him. University of New Mexico. He ended up at New Mexico State. And he gets up for these rivalry games. Takes it over the left side and doesn't find a yard. Let's take a look at today's playbook, brought to you by Flyhouse.
Cedric Alexander, tailback for the Vanderbilt Commodores. I think the most underrated player in the Southeastern Conference. In between the tackles, runner with speed to hit the home runs, but he brings the power as well when a defender gets in his way. The hands out of the backfield to be able to be a receiver out for Diego Pavia down the field. Look at the extension on the catch for the touchdown, and unselfish as well, willing to help in pass protection. Cedric Alexander does it all for this Vanderbilt offense.
This is still very much a hard hat program under Clark Lee, despite the rankings, despite the knocking on the door of the college football playoff. Four-man rush. Pavia gets pushed back and somehow escapes. Ad-libs his way to a lob downfield to McKill and Young, and he takes it all the way to the 49-yard line. There's a gain of 24. Diego Pavia spraying the crowd after that one.
And that's why he's so dangerous. Look at the penetration here right down the middle of the pocket. I mean, if you were to pause that right there, you said, oh, surely it's a sack or a negative play, but that's what makes Diego Pavia special. The creativity, the off-schedule throws and plays.
And that was a concern for Tennessee defensive coordinator Tim Banks when we met with him at the team hotel last night. He said when he starts to ad-lib, you think you have him, he spins away and finds somebody downfield. That's where he's at his most dangerous.
Tonight, if they don't, Ole Miss.
Nothing like coming down to the wire. 2nd and 10 for Diego Pavia in Vanderbilt. Threw a pick on their first possession, and he throws on the run and threads the needle to Junior Sherrill. Ball came out. It is scooped up by Vanderbilt. Cedric Alexander, to Cole's point earlier, hard hat, hard working, right place, right time. It turns into a 24-yard game.
Boy, Jeremiah Thielander comes with a right hook. Watch this from behind, full swing, knocks that ball out. Great concentration, great effort by Cedric Alexander following the play. That could have been a disaster.
Both teams have put the ball on the ground once, but recovered it. Pavia's interception is what set up the Tennessee scoring drive last time. On first down, a handoff right into traffic, and a loss of a yard for Alexander. Arion Carter back in healthy, and a good game against Florida with 6 tackles. And on the stop for Tennessee.
We can already see the plan from Tim Banks, the defensive coordinator for this Tennessee defense. Stack the box, slow down the run, and force them to win the one-on-one matchups on the outside. Feels really good about Colton Hood and Ty Redmond out there on islands. And so far, they've done a really good job of slowing down Cedric Alexander. Just 3 yards on 3 carries so far today.
Safeties creep up for Tennessee. Alexander again. Huge hole on the right side. And he will score. 28-yard touchdown run for Cedric Alexander. Pavia Mafia feeling it in the stands.
Boy, there's the answer, right? Idris Farouk is going to come down. He's going to almost do a pass rush right there. So he runs by, and then Arion Carter guesses wrong. Doesn't fill the C gap there, and Cedric Alexander was out to the races.
Brock Taylor on for the point after. And we are tied with less than a minute left in the opening quarter of this rivalry game. Take a look at this week's college football playoff rankings brought to you by Capital One. And we're looking at the odds for Vanderbilt to sneak in. Really, you'd have to be in the top 10 unless Miami's able to climb. And that was a convincing win for the number 12 team.
Yeah, everybody right here is going to stay in. So now you need chaos, 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 and some help. Miami beating Pitt didn't help either. Vanderbilt's chances, they would have loved Miami to lose there. They need a lot of chaos. Obviously, if they win, they'll be 10-2 with a ranked win over Tennessee.
And remember, a group of 5 team will have one of those top 12 spots for the 12-team college football playoff.
Yeah, you really need to get inside that 10, top 10 as a what do you call it? At large. At large, thank you very much. Because the ACC champ will probably be 11. Group of 5 will be 12.
Knuckleball kickoff carries into the end zone. So Joey Aguilar back to work. What a wild road for him to end up in East Tennessee. He told us last night, I'm thankful for every second of this. The biggest moment, he said, the welcome to the SEC moment for the Appalachian State transfer who spent his spring at UCLA was the big performance he had at home against Georgia. That was early in the season. And that was a high-scoring game, but Tennessee came up just short. He's the 4th different starting quarterback in the last 4 seasons for head coach Josh Heupel. And oddly enough, thanks to Diego Pavia, he could have another year in Tennessee orange. Nothing doing on the run. It's a loss of a yard. Diego Pavia sued the NCAA for an extra year due to his junior college playing days. He got that back, and so did a bunch others. Now they're going to do it again and hope they can get a second season. So this guy's impacting college football in the courtrooms in addition to on the field. Here's Staley, slides his way free for a couple more yards, and now 3rd and 3 coming up.
Let's see if Andy goes back to this walk-up blitz look. They've liked this on 2nd, 3rd downs.
Is that risky going with that on 3rd and 3?
It can be, right? Because you have nobody at the second level if you stay in it. So even a run could have some success. They're going to pass it here. Blitz comes.
Aguilar avoids it and dumps it off to his tight end. Ethan Davis rumbles for a 1st down. It's a gain of 19, and there is a flag down. Davis has really come into his own there without Miles Kitzelman, who's out with injury, and this one will be backed up. Joey Halsley talking about the confidence Davis is playing with. He's like a shooter that sees a few go in.
Face mask on the offense. 15-yard penalty from the end of the run. Result of the play is a 1st down.
But it's all for naught.
Yeah, Ethan Davis obviously filling in for Miles Kitzelman. Was a leading receiver last week against Florida. It's a matchup nightmare.
That's the end of the 1st quarter.
It'll take us to the end of the 1st quarter in this rivalry game. 119th meeting between Tennessee and Vanderbilt, tied at 7. You're watching Fairfield by Marriott Rivalry Week. By Chili's, Vandy and Tennessee tied at 7 moments ago. Cole Kublik with Clark Lee.
Coach Lee, fairly aggressive 1st quarter from your defense. Is that where you feel like you need to live for the rest of this game?
Well, I mean, it's always dangerous against this offense. I think we've held up all right in coverage, a little bit leaky in the inside in the run game. So we're going to do what works. You know, pressure's a part of it, but we got to be able to play coverage too.
Thanks, Coach.
Thanks so much.
All right, thank you, Cole. And Deshaun Bishop, who owns the Tennessee touchdown, brought down by Randon Fontenette. 3rd possession for Tennessee. Volunteers went 3 and out on their 1st and scored on their 2nd. Aguilar wants to go deep and sailed it high. Chris Brazzell the 2nd. What makes Joey Aguilar a good deep ball thrower?
Boy, he puts a ton of air on the football. I think for Tennessee fans, if you remember, Nico and Joe Milton, those guys had howitzers on the right side of their body, but the ball came out so flat, didn't give the receivers a ton of time to adjust. He does a great job of putting enough air on it. It doesn't have to be perfect. It allows his guys to make a play, and obviously you see the explosive plays. That's a product of Joey's accuracy. It's also a product of Tennessee doing an extensive study in the offseason, changing schematically some of the structure of their offense to create some more of those explosives.
Blitz coming up the middle. Aguilar can't escape. Vandy's got its 1st sack of the game. It belongs to Brian Longwell. That's Longwell's 1st sack of the season. It's a loss of 9.
Boy, look at all these guys up around the line of scrimmage. This offensive line is going to have to sort out who's coming, and it's going to be Longwell right up the middle. Deshaun Bishop does his best to stop him. That's a problem. It's so hard to know which lineman, which direction to send it, who's going to come. You know you're going to guess wrong, and someone's just going to have to make an exceptional block that time. It landed on Bishop's plate, and Longwell was too much.
And Tennessee with its 2nd string left guard in there. Shem Umarov taking over for the injured Wendell Moore. Height takes a fair catch after a 44-yard punt. And it's back to work for Diego Pavia, another injured Tennessee player. Pavia created some headlines in the offseason with his trash talk. He is a player with plenty of swagger and moxie, and it is a short package that has led Vanderbilt to its first 9-win season since 1915. They've never won 10 games in a single season. And Clark Lee, a Vanderbilt graduate himself, just completely retooled what they did from a recruiting standpoint. He said, I was tired of leading young men to be great civic leaders and husbands and fathers and watching them transfer somewhere else and come back and beat us. We put the focus every single second and every dollar on winning, and that has paid off truly over the last 2 years, highlighted by a win over #1 Alabama last year. Pavia has time, and he comes near side of junior Sherrill, and he's off to the races. Sherrill left the first man in the dust. He just turned right by Colton Hood and turned it into a 32-yard gain.
It's just a hitch route on the outside. Colton Hood's going to be in off coverage there, playing cover 3 to that side, and he just guesses wrong. He's got to break down a little earlier than that. Give up a few yards to make sure you don't get beat like that.
Pavia on the run, right over the middle. This is Stowers down to the 10. Diego Pavia has already thrown for more yards in this matchup with Tennessee than he had all of last year's game. First and goal from the 9. No huddle. Vandy keeping its foot on the pedal.
Watch the QB draw here. Nobody in the middle of the field.
Pavia has it batted down. There is movement pre-snap, and that will back up Vanderbilt. Tyree West knocked it down.
Prior to the snap, false start, number 6 on the offense. 5-yard penalty, still first down.
What a cool play design. Watch the RPO. They're going to put this linebacker in a bind. It's either going to be quarterback run, or you got the glance route by Stowers right behind. The linebacker runs to stop the quarterback. That's not your RPO that you're used to seeing, right? With a slate route on the outside. That is a very unique. They tried to run that play earlier to the other side. This time, hit it big.
Now, Diego Pavia's been running this offense for the better part of 4 years. Tim Beck was his coordinator in New Mexico State. He came over with him along with Jerry Kill. Now first and goal from the 14. 4-man rush. Pavia escapes the pocket, little pump fake in some room, and he lowers his shoulder to barrel his way down to the 3. It's a 10-yard scramble.
Boy, you have to be really careful rushing Diego Pavia. You cannot be selfish and run past the quarterback. Watch the depth. Once you get to the level of the quarterback, you have to stop and compress the pocket. If you run past Diego Pavia, you give him a lane, he's going to hurt you every time.
So they spot it at the 4, second and goal for Vanderbilt. Kylan Young is the tailback out of the pistol. Here's Young, dances in the backfield and finds the checkerboard. 3-yard touchdown run, and Vanderbilt's got its first lead of the game.
Watch Pavia spin around here and try to get in the action there. That's just a great drive. Again, took what the defense gave him, threw a hitch route against soft coverage, made somebody miss for the big explosive play. Great RPO design to put a linebacker in a bind, and you finish it off with physicality up front.
Brock Taylor, Knoxville product out of Catholic High, punches it through. Vanderbilt leads number 19 Tennessee 14-7 early second quarter from a sold-out Neyland Stadium where the visitors have their first lead of the game.
One for the road.
The cat in a hat probably helping them out there. They'll return on this kick. Tennessee trailing for the first time, and what a journey it's been for their transfer quarterback Joey Aguilar. Here's how he's climbed the ladder through his college football career. City College of San Francisco, the Diablo Valley College. He was out of the game for 2 years. Ended up rewriting the record book at Appalachian State. Quick stopover at UCLA. And then he got traded for Nico Iamaleava, basically. And now he's a starter here. And 2 years out of the game, he was running a mobile car washing business, and he was training to be a firefighter. And Aguilar dumps it off out of the backfield for a gain of a few. He told us yesterday that his welcome to Tennessee moment, in addition to that Georgia game, was when he got the starting job, and he got a text from a number claiming to be Peyton Manning. He said, I didn't believe it at all. And then he called, and I heard Peyton's voice. Here's Mike Matthews, and he sheds a would-be tackler. Picks up a first down. That's a gain of 16.
It's a long way from playing Butte Junior College when you're at Diablo Valley. Special place in my heart for both these kids because they're JUCO kids like I was. Joey Aguilar played in the same conference that I did in JUCO, Northern California.
What a pleasure meeting with Joey yesterday. Handoff to DeJuan Morris, and the freshman from Chattanooga takes it straight ahead. He just emphasized multiple times how thankful he was for this experience and to be here in a Tennessee uniform. He said, I grew up idolizing players myself, and so being in that position is different. Here's a deep ball. Touchdown, Tennessee! Chris Brazel the second. It's a 52-yard strike from Aguilar to Brazel. The third attempt is a deep shot, finally pays off for the Antioch, California native. And that play is Josh Heupel's offense in a nutshell. Ninth touchdown catch of the year for Brazel. Max Gilbert with another point after, and we are tied at 14.
You got man coverage, and look at Colby Taylor not even looking, trying to get direction from the sideline. The ball is snapped. Ooh. You cannot give Chris Brazel a head start. He will make you pay. And we got a ball game here on Rocky Top.
And what a way to finish it with his rivalry game. Perfect football weather in the 40s and overcast. A long history between these two programs. It's been Vandy playing the spoiler, whether it was keeping Tennessee from going to the Rose Bowl back in the day or just a few years ago, upsetting them behind Derek Mason and keeping the Volunteers from the sugar. Now it's Vandy with everything on the line. No return for Trey Richardson. Let's get you back to the studio. What's going on, Matt Barry?
Gets you updated, Tom Hart, on some of the 3:30 window games. Dante Moore keeps it. Oregon up 10-0. Washington's offense, nothing to speak of today. What a finish in the FCS. Yale was down 35-7 at the half, and then Josh Pitzenberger of the Yale Pitzenbergers takes it in. They come back to beat Youngstown State 43-42.
Well, they're going to say we never should have let these Ivy League guys into the playoffs. First year that they're able to play for a national title at the FCS level. Vanderbilt's offense has been humming right along, better than 10 yards per play this afternoon. A.J. Newberry in the backfield behind Pavia. Pulls it back, wants to go deep, and down the sideline, intercepted for the second time. This is Ty Redmond with the takeaway.
Well, this is Trey Richardson, Vandy's speedster. He's going to get an outside release. As soon as he starts to run by Ty Redmond, he's got to stack him. See, once he gets, he's got to get back on top of him to give Pavia room to throw the ball on the outside. There's just no room to fit that ball in.
Back towards the middle of the field.
Yeah, when Trey runs by Redmond, you got to stack him, get back on top to create create room on the outside for that football. In other words, Redmond's just there in phase, in perfect position, and essentially played receiver on that one. That's tough for a quarterback because you're not able to see if he's stacking. You got to throw the ball where the ball needs to go, and it wasn't a bad play. It's just he's got to have his receiver help him out a little bit more right there, but even better coverage from Ty Redmond.
They've been so good at protecting the football, and that's the first 2-interception game for Pavia since last year against Texas. Quick hitter on the slant, Mike Matthews. An extra pushing and shoving and maybe some acting.
No Oscar there. He wanted it, though. He's lobbying.
Watch number 0, Ethan Davis. There's the whistle. Oh, my. The front of humanity. A couple of broken tackles for Deshaun Bishop. And Tennessee will be looking at a 3rd and less than 2.
That's the effect of that deep shot they had earlier. Vanderbilt in the first couple plays with 2 safeties high. So Tennessee's going to run the football, and that's the chess game, right? And then run game starts to roll. Vanderbilt's going to have to add a safety to the box, and then you're one-on-one on the outside. And at some point, you just got to win those matchups on the outside of your Vandy, because you have to slow this run game down.
Tennessee kind of yo-yoing with the tempo here. They were pushing it for a moment. Now they slow it down again. Star Thomas in the backfield.
And these are these condensed formations. You see how much tighter these Tennessee receivers are than we're used to seeing? They usually spread sideline to sideline.
Aguilar, complete and incomplete. Excuse me. Ball came out. Brazel just couldn't squeeze it.
That's one of those wrinkles that Josh Heupel and Joey Halsley both mentioned. You know, this offense back in 2022, everyone was so worried about the tempo, they just played man coverage. They just wanted to line up and play man coverage, and Jalen Hyatt just ran by everybody in the conference. And then 23 and 24, everybody started doing drop 8. And so those explosive pass plays went away, and they had to run the football. That's where Dylan Sampson led the SEC.
And a bobble, but a catch nonetheless by Staley. Immediately gets taken down. It's a loss of 3. But the evolution of those defenses caused a counter for Tennessee.
And so this offseason, like, we're not going to be okay with just not being able to create explosives through the air. So how can we do it? Condensed formations, pull protection, where play action involves offensive linemen pulling to try to attract more eyes and create those explosives downfield. So they've retooled the way they attack. It's resulted in some more explosive plays, but so far tonight, just that one big one down the middle of the field to Brazel.
Volunteers using the play clock again. Aguilar over the middle, right at the logo. That's a first down, and Ethan Davis picks up a few more. He's on a heater. That's a 20-yard pickup for the tight end.
Well, it's great recognition by Joey Aguilar. You had a look that was an all-out blitz. They drop out of it, and he just finds a soft spot in the zone.
Here's Bishop through traffic. He's off and running again. A 35-yard touchdown for Deshaun Bishop, 2nd of the game. Bishop's running against Vanderbilt like he's back at Carnes High School playing Powell. That caps a 7-play, 63-yard drive.
Two blocks I want you to pay attention to. David Sanders coming around, and then watch Mike Matthews come dig this safety out with some aggression. Right tackle pulls, hits the linebacker. Mike Matthews comes in and puts a hit on C.J. Hurd to clear the way for Deshaun Bishop.
Max Gilbert with his 3rd point after, and Tennessee with the lead in this shootout. Another takeaway set the table for Tennessee. Diego Pavia has thrown 2 picks here in the first half. Joey Aguilar, the Tennessee offense, and Deshaun Bishop take advantage. 21-14, Tennessee. Field. No return for Vandy. It was a busy offseason for Diego Pavia. He walked onto a bus that doesn't move and left an impression.
Vanderbilt's going to run Tennessee after this year. Like, this is going to be the new staple of, like, college football is going to happen here at Vanderbilt.
Do any of you and the boys ever, like, talk about that? Like, we got to be the state school.
Well,
we're in Nashville, Tennessee. We're in the Music City. Like, we need to be the brand of Tennessee.
Everyone wants to come to Tennessee because of Nashville. So they want to come to Nashville, so Vanderbilt. And then when we have, like, the most money in NIL, like, why not come here?
And to his point, they also got their head coach locked up with an extension. But those comments certainly made their way around the Tennessee football program, as if this rivalry needed a little bit more juice. Pavia checks back to the left, and that's batted down. Caleb Herring got his hands on it. What sort of pressure does it put on you when you talk trash in the offseason against your rival?
Well, you just got to back it up, right? I mean, on one hand, I think Pavia has been the most impactful transfer portal era player since Joe Burrow, right? I mean, just the impact he's had on this team and where he's been able to take them. So you need some of that confidence to rally the guys around you, to believe that you can get it done. But you also got to back it up, right? You start striking the Heisman pose. You know, you got to turn things around here against your rivals with the college football playoffs still on the line if you do win.
Now 2nd and 10, they go with the Pavia keeper on the fake, on the sweep. Dominic Bailey with the stop. 3rd and medium.
These 3rd mediums are where Eli Stowers has been the go-to guy. They're talented tight end. Like to put him in the slot. Like to try to create a matchup. This time he's going to be on the end of the line of scrimmage. I bet you he goes in motion across the formation. Or the other way.
Yep. He had a 50-50 shot. Pavia looking for him. Everybody's covered. Now he's directing traffic and will ad-lib a Pavia scramble for a 1st down, and he busts the seam all the way down into Tennessee territory. That is a 31-yard scramble on the ad-lib by Diego Pavia.
And Tennessee has got to stop trying to sack Diego Pavia and just try to keep him in the pocket. Too many times guys are getting out of their gaps, leaving these big run-through lanes for Pavia, trying to make a sack. Just keep him in there.
There's a flag down at the end of that one. That long run for Pavia, the 2nd longest journey for a Pavia this week. The Pavia Mafia, his family rented an RV in Albuquerque and made the 22-hour drive to Knoxville. They'll be here for this one.
On the offense, number 72, 10-yard penalty from the previous spot. Replay 1st down.
Isaiah Glass gets flagged.
Yeah, it's going to be Glass right there. Just with the hold on Caleb Herring as he turned the corner.
You think that was a lively RV drive from Albuquerque with the entire Pavia crew in there?
You got 22 hours to kill and your last name's Pavia, you're going to have some fun.
Like Wade Boggs on a cross-country flight. 1st and 20. Pavia 7 of 12 today, and batted away in the backfield by Ty Redmond. Clark Lee's begging for a flag. He thought Redmond was all over his receiver.
Boy, there was a lot of contact. Remember one of the first plays of the game, there was contact downfield with Chris Brazel. These refs kind of set the tone early. They're going to let these guys play on the outside. See Stowers trying to break out of his route. There was a little contact there. Ball was slightly behind, which helped Redmond break that one up. But again, they set the tone early. They're going to let these guys be physical on the outside. Calling it both ways, or allowing it both ways.
Now 2nd and 20, 4-man rush. Pavia will again leave the pocket. There's a flag down in the backfield, and he gets shoved out of bounds on the apron. It'll be Glass holding for the 2nd time.
A much better job by Tennessee on that one of just having a level rush, not running past the level of the quarterback, not running behind Pavia and allowing him to scramble.
Holding on the offense, number 72. That penalty's declined. Results of the play, 3rd down.
Well, leaves him with 3rd and long. Now for Pavia converted a 3rd and long with a quarterback scramble earlier this possession.
Yeah, they're 3rd in the country on 3rd and long. They've been really good in these scenarios, partly because of Diego's creativity and ability to extend plays.
They're down 18. Four-man rush again. Pavia trying to escape, and he lobs it downfield. And the Tennessee pressure, led by Dominic Bailey, forced the errant toss, and now a lot of trash talk between Josephs and the Vandy quarterback.
Boy, watch Joshua Josephs try to win on an inside move right here, and it's a twist on the outside. Dominic Bailey does a good job of getting contained and not allowing Diego Pavia to escape and turn the corner, forcing the throwaway.
When you saw Bryce Henderson get those shoulders turned towards the sideline as his hips opened up towards the sideline, you do that on a defender that's giving you an inside move, you have almost no chance to recover.
I tell you what, I wouldn't be talking trash to Diego Pavia. I feel like he thrives on that.
Yeah.
Like he loves that. I think he's going to play with more aggressive.
I was talking with David Smith, our referee, before the game. He said you don't usually hear trash talk in the backfield. It's usually the wide receivers and DBs. And Tennessee wanted to send a message, and boy, did they. 35-yard punt. And Joey Aguilar has seen a ton of pressure from Vandy, and he has succeeded.
Yeah, he's been great getting the ball out. That was something that Steve Gregory, the defensive coordinator for Vanderbilt, mentioned. We want to try to get him uncomfortable, force him into some of those turnovers. Remember, he's thrown 10 interceptions this year. As you see, Josh Heupel talking to Aguilar, giving him some tips right before he runs out on the field. He has been known to force the football under pressure. Problem is, he's been good against the blitz, and if you don't cause duress, you don't force him off his spot, he's going to hurt you. So they got to find a way to move him off his spot, make him uncomfortable. And again, you see Vandy walking up with this 7-up look. Man coverage on the outside. And here's the zero blitz check from Tennessee.
That was the first punt of the game from Vanderbilt. Tennessee tries to run against it, maybe picks up a foot. Miles Capers with the stop.
And part of walking up and showing that blitz is to get you to do something like that. So they drop out of it and get you to run the football. And
a quick snap for Tennessee. Bishop with the carry. 3rd and 5. Aguilar's perfect on 3rd down today, 4 for 4. To throw, and wide and incomplete, but a flag. Staley was matched up with the linebacker, or pardon me, safety Fontenette. And the Vandy captain just cost his team.
Pass interference on the defense, number 2. Ball replacement, the spot of the foul, automatic first down.
yeah, Brandon Fontenette's just going to grab the right shoulder you see there of Staley as he's trying to get out of his break.
Fontenette had one of the biggest plays of the season last year for Vandy with a pick 6 in their home win against #1 Alabama. Junior from Freeport, Texas. Aguilar has plenty of space and floats one to the sideline incomplete. Brazel guarded by Colby Taylor. Joey Aguilar is from Antioch, California. When he was playing junior college football, he lived at home. He had a 90-minute trip on Bay Area Transit to get to his junior college practices. Went through the COVID season where it was canceled, another year where he didn't play, and he said, I thought I was done with football. Tennessee's happy he's not. Here's Bishop on the dump off and a flag thrown. This field has been littered by yellow hankies here in the first half.
Yeah, they're going to get Mike Matthews on holding there.
Pass interference on the offense, number 4. Penalty is half the distance to the goal. Replay, 2nd down.
And Matthews had that great block on the safety to spring Deshaun Bishop. This time getting physical on the outside with Jordan Matthews, and he's just got to let him go. Held on a little bit too long there.
Let's see what they have in the book for 2nd and 23.
And look, this is the identity of Vandy. They're going to walk up all 7 guys on 2nd and forever. They're not going to let Tennessee force the issue. They're going to try to, again, that's what they want. They want you to be forced to have a quick throw, not have time to drop back, protect, and attack you deep downfield. Steve Gregory said, look, Tennessee's got their tempo that kind of sets the tone. That's our version of tempo. Locking up and forcing you into a certain play call.
Aguilar scrambling on 3rd and forever, and he gets taken down. Another sack for Vandy, 2nd of the game. Nick Rinaldi with the stop for the Vandy boys, and Tennessee will have to punt it away.
Tennessee tried to catch Vanderbilt substituting. A couple guys running on the field late.
Volunteers can't take advantage. Going back to Gregory in the tempo of this game, they would have the scout team this week run 6 plays in a row, all at breakneck speed. Martell Height has an opportunity to give Vandy great field position here with 3.5 to play and a half. Height from the 45. First man bounces off. 3rd and 4th, take him down. So let's take a look at how we got to this point. Joey Aguilar in Tennessee in the 2nd possession of the game got a touchdown run from Deshaun Bishop. Cedric Alexander answered for Vanderbilt on a long run. Then they would do it again for the first lead of the game. Early 2nd quarter, Aguilar with a deep ball to take advantage of Colby Taylor, who was asleep at the switch. And then Bishop added a 35-yard touchdown jump. And here we are, unseen in that highlight package. 2 Diego Pavia interceptions, which have led to 14 points for the Volunteers.
And that's been the difference. Neither of these offenses have really been consistently stopped. Obviously, Vandy came over the stop there, but 248 yards of total offense for both. It's been the interceptions from Pavia that have been the difference. And it's a big drive here, because remember, Tennessee started the game with the ball, so Vandy's got an opportunity to double up here, get some points on the board, and get the ball after half.
We expected this, and the odds makers expected it to be a high-scoring game. And certainly on pace for that. Pavia just got it off in time. Swings it to the perimeter to Trey Richardson. And he is forced out at midfield by Jeremiah Thielander after a gain of 3.
That was such a good job by Thielander. I love watching this kid. I remember we talked to him earlier in the season. I was like, you know what? I feel like you have 0 regard for your body.
That's right.
When you play the position, which is perfect for a linebacker. He will throw his body at any player, no matter the size. No risk is too big for him.
Dad, a college coach at Missouri, Bowling Green, UTEP, among other stops. Played his college ball at Mizzou for a loaded coaching staff. Well, he grew up around the game. 2nd and 7. Looked like Vandy moved on the right side. Straight ahead, Alexander. Gain of 17. Gotta find a mouthpiece and put it back in.
Ooh. That was clean.
He's had a couple of those go wrong this year.
Yeah, he has.
Equipment check. Pavia looking for movement and a towel from the Tennessee defense.
2-minute timeout.
And they run it down to the 2-minute timeout. Vandy trying to tie this thing up before halftime. From Knoxville, Tennessee, Volunteers lead 21-14 in the 119th meeting between these two in-state rivals.
Plus the game between Ohio State and Michigan. Ohio State finally gets it off their back and they get the win. Plus rivalry weekend. Is there anything better than that? EJ and Joey join me coming up.
All right, Matt, thank you. They reset the clock to 2 minutes for the timeout. Pavia with the handoff and a quick hitter on the left side for Cedric Alexander. And a touchdown run on a gain of, a first down run on a gain of 11.
That's a great job by Pavia changing the play at the line of scrimmage there. It was just counting numbers. They were heavy to the left side. Tennessee didn't really adjust. So they had one less guy over there, and Pavia dialed up the perfect call there on the left side.
Seeing some of that versatility, too, from the running backs Vanderbilt puts on the field. You got to count that as two-back, but they'll go I formation, offset I formation, not necessarily count an extra tailback as a fullback all the time.
Clock rolling, under 90 seconds to play in the half. Vandy has all of its timeouts. And Pavia's kept it. Pavia off to the races, and he gets folded over at the 10 by Arian Carter. It'll be good enough for a first down. 1st and 10 from the 11. Clock will stop for a moment to reset the sticks.
Cole, you mentioned some of those bigger bodies, those bigger running backs that Vandy will use. The result of that is Dominic Bailey was at defensive end there. He's 290 pounds. So that's an easy read for Diego Pavia. That guy's not fast enough to adjust with me.
And Tim Beck told me before the game, they would dictate some play calling depending on how heavy Tim Banks was playing their defensive line.
Out of the pistol with Alexander behind him. Movement against Vandy again. There's something off with the rhythm of the offensive line for Vanderbilt today.
I think that's Bryce Henderson with an early jump there.
I think some people might say kneeling, Tom, had a little bit to do with that.
Yeah, could be.
Yep.
The sound.
This is not a fun place to play when you're trying to communicate. I can attest to that.
So this could be a 10-second runoff. The right tackle, Bryce Henderson. Our Vandy would be forced to use a timeout to save the 10 seconds.
Yeah, got 3 of them. Don't need all 3 with just 41 seconds.
Please reset the game clock to 42 seconds. False start, number 55 on the offense. 5-yard penalty, still first down. False start with less than 2 minutes remaining is a 10-second runoff. Vanderbilt has used their timeout to avoid the 10-second runoff. Timeout, Vanderbilt. Correction, please reset the game clock to 44 seconds. 44.
David Smith walking us through it. Cole, what's it like playing in this building?
It's not enjoyable when you're playing up there and you're a center. You're trying to get calls to your guards,
Timeout will be
tackles.
30 seconds in length.
I came into this place year after they won a national championship, and I can tell you it was deafening. It's the loudest stadium I've ever played in. It helps when Deion Grant returns the first pass for a touchdown.
Please reset the game clock to 44. 4-4.
But they just make it impossible, and that's where some of the helmet communication comes in as a big assistance. Everybody has signals that they can get in also, but I mean, Jordan can speak to it as a quarterback as well. You have to understand. The guy next to you's got to know his assignment. You're not going to be able to communicate everything once this place gets going.
What about the quarterback perspective?
Well, I threw 3 interceptions here my first time, so it rattled me quite a bit. Look,
I'm glad I asked.
The noise causes you to really speed up your thought process, both pre and post snap. It causes things to move too fast for quarterbacks. That's some of those bad decisions. We've seen a few forced tonight from Diego Pavia, probably a result of some of the noise, feeling some of the pressure. It's definitely one of the more hostile places and more difficult places to play here on Rocky Top.
3-3, huh?
One of them, Jordan Matthews, threw up his hand like he was wide open. He was triple covered, so I'm going to blame J-Matt on that one.
1st and 15, Pavia fakes the end around. He wants to throw off all the razzle-dazzle, and Caleb Barnett with a beautiful spin move to cut back inside. They'll go down with 33 seconds left in the half. Vandy has not used the timeout yet. They're going to let it run, and now they stop it.
Timeout, Vanderbilt. They're second. This will be a 30-second timeout.
So 2nd and 9 coming out of this timeout. Down a distance less important than the time. So tomorrow on Sunday NFL Countdown, we'll break down the latest AFC and NFC playoff stakes headed into Sunday's games. Plus Sam Darnold goes one-on-one with Jeremy Schaap, headed into a revenge game with the Vikings. And we got all the top plays from your backyard turkey bowls over the last few days. Sunday NFL Countdown, 10 a.m. on ESPN. Clark Lee played his college football at Vanderbilt. He signed an extension to stay there. His name was on the short list. A lot of these openings. You heard Matt Berry talk about Lane Kiffin's situation, whether he goes to LSU or stays at Ole Miss. And the music's starting to Going to stop soon for some of these athletic directors with the extensions signed. The guys who are on the short list. 6 players drive for Vandy. Pavia with the check. Going into the student section. Play clock at 2. QB run. Pavia bottled up. Tripped up. And it goes down behind the line of scrimmage. Arian Carter just kept shoving everybody back.
Timeout. Vanderbilt. Their third and final timeout of the first half. This will be a 30-second timeout.
Boy, watch Arian Carter take on a tight end and then an offensive lineman and just get the knee of Pavia, because there was a seam there to the outside. Ty Redmond was on the inside of that Eli Stowers block. Pavia could have turned the corner there, but Arian Carter, who's been banged up for a lot of the year, feels probably the best he has. Made a massive play there to bring Pavia down to force a 3rd and long.
Carter missed 3 games during the course of the season, including pivotal loss to Oklahoma. He's 2nd in the league in tackles, nearly 8 per game. Already in on 4 tackles, 2 of them behind the line.
And this would be a big stop for Tennessee. This is an area of the field they have struggled in. They have not been good in the red zone, allowing touchdowns on 77% of their drives, which is 132nd in the country.
They're down 12 for Diego Pavia and Vanderbilt. Commodores out of timeouts. And a stoppage ahead. Linesman comes running in. Tennessee has used a timeout.
Tennessee, they're first. This will be a 30-second.
Well, this series, it dates to 1892. Tennessee has won 6 in a row and 36 of 42. And now they're trying to get into the locker room with the lead.
Yeah, I love that timeout right there. Just get a picture of the formation so you can go to the sideline and talk about what possibly could they run.
And the assumption is Vandy's running its absolute best 3rd and 12 play.
This is a play you have got to have it on a 3rd and long. There's a separate little section of your call sheet.
Yeah.
Got to have it plays. This is one of them, right? So late in the second half, you're trying to tie the game, so you have this play that you've repped. In 3rd and long, this is our money play.
So either you've got a great look at it, or you force them to go to the second best play.
Exactly. And let's see if they're going to come out in the same look, if they're confident in it. Again, it's not like Tennessee knows exactly what they're going to do, but they can talk about how to leverage certain formations.
Here we go. Pavia's ad-libbing has been a difference in this entire season, and he has turned around this Vanderbilt program. 21 seconds left in the half. Tennessee shows blitz. Pavia will boot. Pressured and gets it away, incomplete. There's a flag down in the backfield. Trey Richardson was the nearest receiver. There was at least 3 orange jerseys in the Vandy backfield. Josh Heupel has a look of disbelief.
Personal foul, roughing the passer on the defense, number 6. Penalty is half the distance going from the previous spot, automatic first down.
Jalen McMurray delivered a little bump after Pavia released it.
Oh, I don't know. There's definitely one full step. It looks like he's trying to pull up, though. Takes the brunt of the hit off that. That's tough for a defender, right? Because Pavia is such a physical runner. Like, you have to come full speed at him. A pivotal call there to win Vanderbilt's favor.
Only 17 seconds remain in the half. 1st and goal from inside the 7.
This play has got to go into the end zone. Not sure they'd have time to reset and spike the football with just 17 seconds.
Pavia wants to throw. Fires. Caught in the corner. Trey Richardson got the foot down, and a Vanderbilt touchdown from 6 yards out with 12 on the clock. An absolute dime from Diego Pavia.
Great throw by Pavia there. Obviously gifted the second life on the penalty. Trey Richardson here catches that clean. Just a slot pylon route on true freshman Ty Redmond. Too much speed there.
This back and forth to Fair, and it sneaks in the upright. Just good. We're tied at 21-7. 27 touchdown pass of the season for Diego Pavia. Now a school record. He was tied with Kyle Shermer, who set it in 2017. We talked with Clark Lee during the week, and this Vandy team to the most points in the first half on the road in conference play since 2018. Clark's such a chameleon when it comes to motivating his team. There are times where he gets them really fired up, other times including the win against #1 Alabama, where he went into the halftime and basically said nothing. Good half. Go out there and win it. I'm curious what his message will be to his team after an uneven first half here today.
I mean, probably much of the same, right? He made this week about Vanderbilt, not about Tennessee, not about the emotions of the rivalry, but just about the fact that, hey, this is about us, our goals, who we are as a team. And I think his message is probably going to be, hey, we turned the football over twice. 2 interceptions in that first half, and it's a tie ball game. We got a chance to start with some points and take the lead.
Well, they've had those games where they've had poor starts as well. You mentioned the Alabama game. You don't fumble that ball going into the end zone. Who knows what that game looks like? Texas game, you have to literally turn into a different offense in the second half of that football game to be able to stay in and give yourself a shot to win it late. So they've been in this spot before.
Well, they've never won in Neyland Stadium against a top 25 Tennessee team. Aguilar will take a knee, and that will send the teams into the locker room. Expected a high-scoring affair. It was a sluggish first quarter, but a pair of Diego Pavia's interceptions gave Tennessee multiple opportunities. Vanderbilt will receive the second half kickoff. Josh Heupel's team puts 21 on the board after going 3 and out on its first possession. And the Volunteers 156 yards through the air from Aguilar. Head coach Josh Heupel for Tennessee is with Cole Kubler.
Coach Heupel, how do you come up with a plan to do a little bit better job against Diego Pavia in the second half?
Yeah, we got to control him. Finally got a couple of holding calls here, you know, on the drive before the last one. Got to finish and you know, the last sequence there, we got to play smarter. End of the day, tie ball game, 30 more minutes. Let's go.
Thanks, Coach. Hey.
Here's Dirk Alexander for Vanderbilt. The run game has gotten going, which has opened up some of the passing attack on the outside for Pavia.
Well, for Tennessee, it's a chance to play spoiler against a Vandy team looking at an outside shot at the college football playoff, and it's a lot of pressure on the program. Cole, what did Clark Lee have to say at the half?
He mentioned those turnovers that you guys just referenced. He said he thinks 14 points off turnovers the difference in the game. He did say along the front seven defensively, feels like they're still punching up at this Tennessee offense just a little bit. He said that's why I'll still continue to mix in some pressures, mix in some movement to try to continue to cause disruption.
Well, Pavia 10 for 17 for 160 yards. And they started this game, Jordan, by going sideline to sideline. Some sweeps were mixed in, shots to the perimeter.
They started to get a little man coverage, and they were able to attack that on the outside. Tennessee coming out in a 2-safety zone bracket look here.
Diego Pavia threw for 160, 1 touchdown and 2 picks in the first half. And he throws on the run to the perimeter, and Trey Richardson has a beautiful cutback and spins his way to a 9-yard gain. Here's an update on our Chili's impact players, including Cedric Alexander.
Yeah, Alexander really got going. A couple explosive runs, started to hit with the threat of Pavia being a runner, and then Trey Richardson, obviously the one-on-one touchdown reception to tie this ball game at the end of the first half. Watch out for number 6, though. At some point, they're going to let him try to run by this Tennessee secondary again. Remember the interception earlier when he had a step slightly off target from Pavia. They will try that again.
And talking to the Vandy coaching staff, they summed up Trey Richardson's skills by saying simply, if you're fast, you're fast. And he has elite speed. Pavia, QB run to pick up the first down for Vanderbilt. A little bit extra in the echo of the whistle. as expected in a rivalry game like this. What makes Diego Pavia such an effective quarterback?
Well, I think he is willing to hold on to the football. And sometimes that goes his way, sometimes it doesn't, but it really affects the defense in the RPO game. It forces those linebackers to make a decision. Is he going to run? Is he going to hold it? Is he going to throw it? He throws it late. He's able to make decisions so late that the defense has a really hard time being in the right spot.
They got two fullbacks on the field right now. And a Davey and Fisher. And Pavia throws the slant complete to Junior Sherrill. First down, Vanderbilt on a pickup of 23.
Again, here's one of these RPOs where he takes his time. He never rushes it. And watch all these guys commit to the run, and then it's going to be the slant to replace it. That's just your typical run-pass option. It's a called run. If those linebackers suck up, you throw the slant right behind them.
What role does personnel have in fooling the defense there?
Well, you got a heavy set, so everybody's expecting run. You see big fullbacks in there. And again, Pavia just takes his time with those play fakes, rides the running back through the mesh point. So again, those linebackers have to make a decision. And by the time he pulls it, they're in the wrong spot.
Option and a shovel inside to Stowers. He gets stood up and taken down after a gain of 6.
You know, Tom, you mentioned to Jordan just now what makes him an effective quarterback. For me, it's the operation of this offense. And you say, well, yeah, all quarterbacks go out there and do what coaches ask them to do. It's how much he's asked to do. Flatline options. Jordan just mentioned RPOs a moment ago. Sprint outs, rollouts, and then you throw in the power run game that he's asked inside this offense under Tim Beck as well. There are not too many quarterbacks in college football that are asked to do as much as Diego Pavia does.
Tim Beck far right of the screen. Came over from New Mexico State with Pavia. He's been with them for 4 seasons now, and they have added each and every year. QB draw. Pavia seemingly was bottled up, and somehow he found daylight inside the 30 for a Vanderbilt first down.
Oh, he's just slippery in the run game. He's so compact, so he can be a physical runner, but it's his vision and his patience as well that are impressive. That one initially pretty well defended by Tennessee. Good penetration. They took on the lead blocker and then just buys time and finds a seam.
Opening drive, second half for Vanderbilt. First 9-win season since 1915. They've never won 10 games in a single year. Cedric Alexander pushes forward for a gain of 3+. Another injured player for Tennessee. This is David Hobbs. They're already without Jackson Moy, defensive tackle, who got injured in the first half. Well, what a season it's been for Vanderbilt, up to number 14 in the rankings, and they have sailed through calm waters for the most part relative to what they've been. 9 wins for the first time since World War I. 3 ranked wins for the first time ever, and they're reaching new depths. School records for total offense and passing and rushing touchdowns for Diego Pavia. They've never had a Heisman finalist finish higher than 7. Pavia seems to be in line to get an invite to New York City and at the very least be part of the ceremony.
Yeah, this game real important for his Heisman hopeful appearance in New York. It wasn't a super fast start for Pavia in this offense. He struggled a little bit early in SEC games. He's obviously exploded as of late, but he won't have an opportunity to play in an SEC championship, and a lot of these Heisman hopefuls across the country, Fernando Mendoza being one of those guys, will play in a conference championship game, and they did change the voting. They don't allow it to open until that championship Saturday now, so people aren't voting early. You got to take all the games into account.
Carl Hinkle finished 7th in the Heisman voting in 1937. He was a center on the offensive side of the ball, great defensive player for Vanderbilt. Went in to be inducted in the College Football Hall of Fame. Hobbs Gibbs is off to the sideline. We'll test Tennessee's D-line depth. Second and 7. Pavia on the run. Complete. And a cutback near the marker and a first down for Trey Richardson. A sustained drive to open the second half for Vanderbilt as they move the chain again.
And they started Trey Richardson in the backfield that time and motioned him out. That's just stealing. Finding ways to get their speedster in space.
Tim Beck has authored this style of offense for a number of years. He played for Jerry Kill at Pittsburgh State in Kansas. They're on the staff together in the early 90s and still together now on the Vandy coaching staff. First and 10. Pavia steps forward, fires in the end zone. Too strong. Over the head of Trey Richardson.
Boy, and there's that version of that RPO that he hit Stowers on earlier. They also ran it on their first red zone drive. This time, linebacker bites up. He's got one-on-one coverage, just a little high.
What are the elements of being a good thrower on the run for Pavia?
Well, it's tougher for a right-handed quarterback going to his left, right? You got to make sure you get that left shoulder towards your target so you can use your upper body, because you lose your lower body, so you don't have the same velocity. That time, I think, was just drifting a little bit as he threw that, and it ended up a little high.
Here's Alexander. Squirts free, took a hit short of the first down marker, then the extra surge brings him up just short. It'll be a yard short on this 3rd and 1 upcoming, and Pavia's got him on the line already. Vandy 3 for 5 on 3rd down tonight. QB sneak. You tell me where he is.
Well, that's a play that Pavia gets everybody to the line of scrimmage on his own. We were talking to Tim Beck about that. They tried to sub there because Beck was probably making a call. Pavia got everybody to the line, said, I'm just going to sneak this one.
Yep.
He allows him the freedom to kind of call those off the cuff if he wants to. That time it worked out on 3rd and short.
Nice decoy work from Cedric Alexander, also looking to the sideline like he didn't have the play.
Well, he probably didn't. Yeah, Pavia's just, it's like, I think I'm just going to take a snap. Probably him in the center are the only ones that knew what were going on that one.
Extra tight end is Bryson Coleman. Alexander bounces it to the outside. He is in. Touchdown, Vanderbilt. 5-yard touchdown plunge to cap an 11-play, 75-yard drive. In the opposite corner, the Vandy fans love it. Different feeling, the Tennessee student section.
Yeah, watch Turrentine here. He's going to get his eyes caught inside. He's got to play contain. So he's got to set the edge there. Gets lost a little bit looking front side. So out of position when Cedric Alexander cut that one back.
One after is good. Cedric Alexander's averaging 8.5 yards per carry. Carries this one into the end zone for the second lead of the night for Vanderbilt. Well, Diego Pavia and Vanderbilt took advantage of this personal foul penalty to extend their late second quarter drive. Instead of settling for a field goal, he found the end zone with 12 seconds left in the half, and then an 11-play, 75-yard drive to start the second half. And they have flipped the script on Tennessee now with a 28-21 lead.
Yeah, the middle 8 is so important in big games like this. How do you finish the first half, and how do you start the second half? Vanderbilt doubled up there with touchdowns on both and completely flipped this game on its head. Chance for a return from the goal line.
Dewan Morris takes it out past the 20 and the pile to the 25. Read Reacts, the best show on cable television, college football. Cole, you're the host. Walk us through.
We're going to need Tennessee to get the run game going in the second half to build not only more yards on the ground, but through the air. Watch the down block from the tackles, and Lance Hurd. Backside tackle is going to pull around, but the kickoff from the tight end going to help as well. They ask these tight ends to do a lot in the run game. David Sanders Jr., great job kicking out there from his tackle spot. Deshaun Bishop presses those blocks extremely well, making his blockers right and defenders wrong. Did it well on that play. Tennessee needs more of that here in the second half.
Cole, what do you call that when you run over the guy in front of you and leave your belly on him there to finish?
Put your belly on him.
Just put your belly on him. That's it.
Could be the blubber. That's Monday nights on the SEC Network. I mean, make up a term.
The blubber. That's good. I like that. You know,
the blubber.
A pancake is flattening the guy, but when you land on him, it's give him the blubber.
It could be the waffle.
Oh, the waffle.
A loss of a foot by Deshaun Bishop. Brian Longwell making his 25th consecutive start in on the stop for Vanderbilt. Well, Tennessee has gone tempo a few times, and it's cost them, including on their last possession of the first half. Giving it back to Vandy with time to score. Joey Aguilar. Incomplete. Not on the same page.
That's the second time he's thrown what it looks like he was thinking is going to be a comeback, where the receiver presses up 12 to 15 yards and breaks outside to the sideline. And each time it was Chris Brazzell, one time it was Mike Matthews, another broke inside, almost like a deeper hook route. So it's interesting why those guys are on different pages there. He's talking to Josh Heupel on the sideline trying to figure that out. That's twice now he's missed badly on a miscommunication.
Remember, his first year of this program, he didn't show up until late summer after transferring from UCLA. Martell Height falling down makes a fair catch back at the 25 after a 46-yard punt. 28-21, Diego Pavia and Vandy with the advantage. Big game to close the regular season. Two programs who have lived on different continents in college football history. 22 10-win seasons for Tennessee, none for Vanderbilt. Vandy's been to 10 bowl games in school history, only won 5, and Tennessee's already won 31.
It's wild. This is as real of a rivalry feel as I think this matchup has ever had. Even when I was here, like, Tennessee was whooping our butt every year, so it didn't feel like a rivalry until 2011. We had an overtime game, and there goes Pavia.
Pavia after the pump fake, and another cutback. Diego Pavia looking for his Heisman moment. And he takes it all the way down to the 35 on a 41-yard scramble. He's rushed for over 100 tonight on 11 carries.
And the pump fake just absolutely freezes Jeremiah Thielander, who's coming off the edge. And I think that was actually a design quarterback run anyway, because you saw Jordan White, the center, working up to the second level.
And is a pump fake built in, or a Diego
I think that's probably just freelancing a little bit. Obviously, you can do whatever you want. You pump or you look to the left, and then you hit the quarterback draw. But he knew that guy was coming. He had to do something.
Kyle Young is the tailback. He's a home run hitter. Dipped inside before being taken down after a gain of about 7 by Arian Carter. We just saw the program comparisons, and Diego Pavia is certainly in the Heisman conversation. And he has an opportunity to bring the hardware back to Nashville, or to Nashville, I should say. You compare him to SEC quarterbacks who have won it. He is one of one, but he shares a lot of the same traits with guys in recent history who have taken home college football's highest honor. Young split out. It'll be an empty backfield. Quarterback run again. They wanted to throw, but it's submarine. And Thielander in on the sack for Tennessee.
Well, again, it's that same little QB run RPO trying to get the ball to Eli Stowers, but the safety took that one away. Smart move from Pavia to not throw that football. this is a massive third down for this Tennessee defense. They've got to come up with a stop and got to try to change the momentum of this game, get this crowd into it.
Third and 6 for Pavia. Four-man rush. There's a hole. He finds it, and Pavia scrambles for another first down. 15-yard pickup on third down.
Boy, watch the lane open up here as you get a blitzing linebacker to this side. It's a great block as well by Jordan White, the center, just throwing the defender down. And there's just, again, you have to rush to contain Pavia, not rush to try to sack him.
And I feel like when you simulate pressure and an end drops off with his back to the line of scrimmage, that's a free play for Diego Pavia.
And at this point, you got to spy Pavia. He's just hurting you so much with his legs right now.
They fake the sweep. He goes straight ahead. Caleb Herring with the stop. Well, let's break it down. SEC Heisman quarterback traits. Nobody could argue with the heart that Tim Tebow played with. And Diego Pavia brings that same sort of passion. And oh yeah, the swagger of Burrow. He's got it all in the Moxie Manziel. Guy whose highlights Diego Pavia used to watch on his way to the game, but now, as Cole reported, he's watching his own highlights on the bus in. Everybody was moving in orange. Did Vandy move first? Clark Lee, the Vandy head man.
False start for the offense. Number 50, 5-yard penalty. Second down.
Yeah, you mentioned the Heisman conversation for Pavia. It's really what he's done lately. Last 3 games, he's been on a heater. It didn't start that way, though. First 4 SEC games, it was just kind of ho-hum.
Yeah.
Right? I mean, they got by in a couple of those games, but the offensive explosion wasn't really there. And I think that's what Heisman voters will kind of take into account as they look at other guys that sustains that high level of play wire to wire, but it's still wide open right now. Nobody's grabbed it, and Pavia's got an opportunity to make a Heisman moment here on the road against a top 20 Tennessee team.
Play clock getting late. Pavia with an option look is bottled up and taken down. No gain.
All right, third and long. You have blitzed Pavia time and time again, and he's hurt you with his legs. Let's see if Tim Banks, defensive coordinator, decides to play coverage or leave a spy on Diego Pavia.
19, Joshua Joseph is who offensive coordinator Tim Beck told me before the game they are very concerned about in this exact spot.
Pavia's been most effective with his legs on third down, even third and long today.
Joshua Joseph's right there.
They flip Young. Pavia flush from the pocket. And he gets it off late. May have stepped out of bounds before he threw it. And Vanderbilt's going to have to settle for a field goal attempt.
Yeah, Tim Banks dialed up the pressure. And again, Pavia almost makes the blitzer, the free blitzer, miss once again. You're going to see pressure coming from this side, and Pavia is able to escape. It's just better coverage on the back end. There's nowhere to go with the football. For Pavia, does the smart thing and not throwing across his body, so they have this field goal attempt.
35-yard attempt for Knoxville native Brock Taylor. And it goes inside the upright. Vanderbilt has a 2-score lead. 2:12 remaining in the third quarter. Diego Pavia can sense they have a chance at the brass ring. In Knoxville, you're watching Fairfield by Marriott Rivalry Week. And Vanderbilt trying to end a 6-game Tennessee win streak in this in-state rivalry that has been dominated by the Volunteers. They'll return. coming up on ABC at 7:30 Eastern. We cap the night with the 90th Iron Bowl. Tide look to cement their playoff hopes. It's also available on the ESPN app. It's been 2,191 days since Auburn last beat Alabama. Just want to throw that in for Cole. Oh, here's what's at play for the bubble teams.
You really want to get into this slot, right? Because the ACC champs are probably going to be 11. The group of 5 is going to be 12. Oklahoma, if they go down, that would help out a lot. Miami won. Let me get that out of the way for you.
Here's Ethan Davis on the catch and a 9-yard gain.
As we kind of figure out Vanderbilt's chances if they do hold on here late in the third quarter to win this one. I think the caveat is with Texas winning, would the committee jump them ahead of Vanderbilt? Obviously, they have the head-to-head. They have one more loss, but a much better resume as far as their wins.
And especially the victory last night to hand A&M its first loss of the season.
But Oklahoma losing, Alabama, if they lost to Auburn, would be massive for Vandy as well in their chances. Think about that Alabama-Auburn game. Alabama has to play their rival. If they win, they're in the SEC championship. If they lose, they're out of the college football playoff. This is the SEC. It's the deepest, best conference in America, and you're either out of the playoffs or you're playing for the championship.
They're doing it against an Auburn team that's playing with an interim head coach, batted and intercepted. Or pardon me, incomplete. Wow. Had my mind on Cole. Cole, what do you think of the Iron Bowl tonight?
I think Auburn's defense can keep them in the game. Alabama has had some protection issues at times, haven't been consistent rushing the football. I just don't know what to expect from Ashton Daniels. He comes in relief in the Arkansas game, in and out of the game against Kentucky. Then he actually gets one game to go, but then he sits out against Mercer. I have no idea what to expect offensively from the Tigers.
Yeah, it was a game plan going back a month for Hugh Freeze to sit him when he was still the head coach. Complete gets pressure to Mike Matthews, and he's right at the line to gain. The umpire has him a yard short. On the far side, they said he got it. So first down for Tennessee. Could also see Deuce Knight off the bench as a quarterback for Auburn, talented freshman.
That was unbelievable composure from Joey Aguilar there. Sidestepped the free blitzer.
And a jump cut for Deshaun Bishop to pick up a couple. Here's the last play.
Watch his body language here. He's going to have a free blitzer coming from this side, and he's just going to step up, shake off a little contact, keep his eyes downfield, and rip that one over the middle to Mike Matthews.
This feels like a must-have-it possession for Tennessee, down 31-21. So they turn to the ground game, and Deshaun Bishop rips off 9. He's over 100 now. Trying to get a snap off before the quarter ends, it looks like. And they go with the sneak, and Aguilar is able to pick it up. That will send us to the fourth quarter at Neyland Stadium in Knoxville, Tennessee. The 100
needs to answer. Have had a few explosive plays downfield, but haven't had many opportunities here in the second half. They're going for it.
Aguilar going deep down the sideline. Underthrown, it gets the flag. Brazel had a couple of steps on Colby Taylor.
Pass interference on the defense, number 3. 15-yard penalty from the previous spot, automatic first down.
Remember, Taylor got beat by Brazel on his touchdown earlier in the game.
Yeah, and Brazel had a step there. Obviously, the contact was blatant. But watch why Joey left this one short. The pocket gets completely put into his lap. He's not really able to step into that as Langston Patterson applied the pressure kind of off his back foot, so didn't get everything into it. And Colby Taylor was not in phase, trying to just get back into phase, and lost sight of the ball.
Vandy has this one defended well. Nothing doing thanks to the stop by Joshua Singh. That'll back Tennessee up. Now 2nd and 15. Pressure again coming. Aguilar hit as he throws. It's still complete. Right at the first down marker. Can be a hair short for Brazel. And that'll set up 3rd and 1. Brian Longwell came up the middle and absolutely laid a lick at Joey Aguilar.
Yeah, that is a big-time throw. Aguilar took a massive hit. Deshaun Bishop tried to block. Patterson unable to. Still right on the money.
3rd and 1. Aguilar tries to keep it, and he does! It's a Tennessee first down. He olayed Randon Fontenette, left him in the backfield.
If Tennessee claws their way back into this game, you're going to come back to this play. Because he was dead to rights in the backfield for a big negative play. And Joey makes an even better play to get not just positive yards there, but a first down. He guessed wrong there. I mean, he was trying to slow play the pull and just guessed wrong, but made it right.
Now the 12th play of the drive, it's all Aguilar. Popped at the 10. Colby Taylor, a few extra words after the big hit. But Aguilar is trying to will this Tennessee team back into the game, down 10. 2nd and 4. Aguilar again dumps it off. And a huge open field tackle on Brazel made by Colby Taylor. And the Vandy corner is now playing with a lot of emotion.
That was a heck of a play by Taylor. He comes from the opposite side of the field, trailing Brazel. Great open field tackle. This is good. Slow this down. I mean, Aguilar just had a couple runs. They rolled him out there. He's been under pressure. Took a big hit in the pocket. He needs a second to catch his breath here for a big 3rd and 3.
He ran for the last one. Matthews matched up with Taylor, bottom of the formation.
Going to get man coverage.
To throw. To Matthews, and in and out of the hands. That was it.
Brutal drop from the talented true sophomore. He was just thinking about the celebration there. They ran a little pick play, a slant from the outside, the inside receiver. Braylon Staley just kind of tried to get in Colby Taylor's way. Perfect play call, perfect throw.
So a 25-yard attempt for Max Gilbert. And it's good. 12:32 remaining in regulation. We got a touchdown game. Clark Lee's team trying to hold on the road. Spotlight brought to you by Cintas. Diego Pavia, 270 yards in the air, 124 on the ground. It's his second 100-yard game this season.
It's really been his legs. It's been a difference maker here in the second half. And here you see the other top Heisman candidates across the country. Numbers definitely stack up.
Julian Sayin threw a pick early in the game against Michigan today, but finished with 3 touchdowns on 19 of 26 passing. And Indiana won the Old Oaken Bucket in a runaway against Purdue last night. From the 4, Trey Richardson breaks free and takes it out to the 29-yard line. Player Spotlight brought to you by Cintas. A day in the life of Diego Pavia. Struggling in the first half. He threw 2 picks, which led to 14 Tennessee points. Talk about a comeback.
Yeah, I think it's just a microcosm of who he is as a player. Sometimes it doesn't look pretty, sometimes it's not perfect, but he finds ways to get things done. Obviously responding from the 2 early turnovers to throw the touchdown before half. Again, the improvisation on some of the scrambles that he's had have really broken the back of this Tennessee defense in this second half.
Coming off of a school record for passing yards in a game last week against Kentucky. Pavia steps up. It's tipped. That's a backwards pass, and it gets out of bounds. Before anybody could find it, Joshua Joseph. Diego Pavia is off the charts in all of the analytics. The only places where it comes up red, because of his size and probably style of play, he gets a lot of passes batted at the line.
Yeah, definitely. And because of plays like that, where he probably shouldn't even attempted to throw that with all of the traffic around him. And it did look like that ball initially was going forward, and then deflected backwards. And I think they're going to take another look at this one. It's a great look here. See, it's going to go forward first.
Previous plays under video review. The ruling on the field was a backwards pass out of bounds at the 20-yard line.
Well, that'd be a 10-yard difference if it is indeed an incomplete pass instead of a backwards pass.
Yeah, he's got to be careful with some of these decisions. He knows he's under pressure, knows he's going to take a hit.
You got that going forward?
I got that going slightly forward.
Yeah.
Okay.
Got Jerry McGinn on with us to help us through our rules official. Jerry, how do you see that play?
Well, this is a good stop by replay because the ball, from our view, and we have a great shot of it, the quarterback is releasing the ball and it's tipped, and it appears that the ball was initially going forward and then the ball was tipped backwards, and this is a 10-yard differential. So this is a good stop. I'm hoping that replay reverses this to an incomplete pass.
Seemingly, that's what they'll do. It's taken a while to figure out exactly if it was going forward or backwards. There is no lateral. It's either forward or backward. And it ended up trickling out at the 20-yard line. Cole, just a moment ago, we had the Heisman candidates on the screen. Get to you after this announcement.
After video review, the pass was forward. It's an incomplete pass. The ball will be placed at the 30-yard line. It will be second down.
Cole, how do you think Diego Pavia stacks up against those other Heisman candidates?
I think he's absolutely in the mix, and a lot of that goes back to what we talked about earlier in the broadcast. The operation of the offense, the things that he's asked to do, they're not going to be explosive by nature. You look at some of the guys that he's working with inside this offense as well, not going to have as much NFL talent around him as, say, a Julian Sand does, who I think has been off the charts this year, but he has to be mentioned with those others.
Massive win for Ohio State today. So after the review, 2nd and 10. Pavia, RPO, dumps it down the sideline. Over the shoulder catch made by Trey Richardson. 28-yard gain and a Vanderbilt first down.
It's just tough to put in perspective how difficult this throw is. Running to your left, throwing a vertical down the sideline. Ball is perfect. Trey Richardson, you know the speed. Like, he's always going to have a step.
I mean, Jordan, that's designed to look like a quarterback run.
Yeah.
And that's a throw that a lot of quarterbacks, they want to get set up to be able to make that throw. Just the level of difficulty is extraordinary.
10th play of 20 yards or more for the Vanderbilt offense today.
They going to look at this one?
Previous plays under video review. The ruling on the field was a catch.
He was spinning the ball kind of to gain control as he stepped out of bounds. He was inbounds when the ball hit his hands. The question is, Trey Richardson, is he ruled to have firm control? Now watch as he spins it back. There he's out of bounds.
I mean, when you slow it down like that, you can see it just sure looked like a catch, right?
Yeah.
I mean,
so did he have it secure before the right foot came down?
I mean, it's gonna be close. Anytime you slow something down this much, okay, let's see his feet. So
you've got until the right foot hits.
Yep. Ball's moving. I don't know. I mean,
there's a gap between the ball and his left hand. The question is, was he palming it? Did he have it firmly secured by his right hand? Let's bring in our rules analyst, Jared McGinn. Jared, can you have it in control with just one hand on top?
I tell you, this is a good stop, and at first it looks like it's obvious a catch. And you know, as Jordan mentioned, when you slow things down like this, you can kind of like make anything that you want. I like the fact that it is a catch, because he's really doing a football move with it. He has it, and he's just trying to tuck it away a little bit better. Does it move? Yes. I like it as a catch.
Can you rule it a catch and rule that he has it secured with the right hand on top of the ball, like a basketball player palming it?
You can, but then the ball shouldn't be moving.
Yeah.
This one does move a little bit.
And then it also ended in his left hand at the end.
Right.
Now the ruling on the field is a catch.
After video review, the ruling on the field is upheld.
I think that's right.
Yeah.
Like,
I believe
Thank you, Jerry.
I think if it was ruled incomplete, they probably would have stayed with that also.
So Vanderbilt will have a first down in Tennessee territory at the 42-yard line. Diego Pavia is thrown for 235 and a touchdown. 2 interceptions in the first half led to 14 points for Tennessee. A pump fake and a run. And Pavia bottled up and got some friendly pushing and shoving on the interior.
That's a play Tim Beck said they had to get to this offseason, and they get to it in a lot of different ways. Counter, quarterback counter there, but they can run it with their backs, 2 tight ends.
They go 5 wide with an empty backfield here. See what Diego Pavia's got dialed up. Pavia fires complete for a gain of 3 to Eli Stowers. Pardon me, gain of 4. Jalen McMurray with the stop for Tennessee. Big third down.
Tennessee brings Arian Carter back on the field again. You got to have somebody with eyes on Diego Pavia, ready for that scramble.
Vandy 5 for 8 on third down tonight. Volunteers show blitz. They back off. Pavia has time. Finds the hole. Stowers with the first down catch. It's a gain of 14. It's hard to rattle Diego Pavia.
Oh, now you got a couple guys with eyes on Pavia. Watch these guys drop out of here. Berlotti's going to have eyes. He's the spy guy right here, which means you have a void in the zone coverage to the left there. You got all the attention over the ball, making sure Pavia doesn't escape that pocket, and he finds a soft spot to his go-to guy, Eli Stowers.
5th catch of the night for the #1 tight end on the draft boards. QB run. Pavia again. He's free. Touchdown, Diego Pavia. What is on pace to be the most successful season in Vanderbilt history, and individually an exclamation point for the Commodore quarterback. And then he choreographed the pose. Brock Taylor on for the point after. With 13 seconds left in the first half, Tennessee led this game 21-14. Since then, the Commodores have imposed their will. Their spark plug quarterback, Diego Pavia, has Vandy on the doorstep of a school record 10th win and perhaps a berth in the college football playoff.
The best $10.99 you can eat.
Diego Pavia and Vanderbilt striking a pose. It's a 2-touchdown lead for the Commodores. Break down this last play.
Yeah, watch this block by McKylan Young. 200 pounds on Arian Carter's 235. They're going to meet in the hole, but it's a little subtlety to what Pavia does as he hesitates right here. He's going to get Farouk to jump inside of this block. and that sets up the massive hole. If he doesn't do that little hesitation, Farouk probably stays outside leverage on Jordan White, the center there, and it's still probably a good play, but might not be a touchdown. That little hesitation sets it up perfectly.
We talk about great players making things right. It wasn't great blocking by the offensive line, yet he made them right by making that move. Huge game today in Norman. Let's get you to the studio. Here's Matt Barrett.
Yeah, Tom, it is a big game, and it's going back and forth between the Sooners and Tigers. Down 10-3, John Mateer to Dion Burks. Burks does the rest himself, ties the game at 10 apiece. They just held LSU on defense. They're going to get the ball back there in the fourth quarter. And coming up at 7 o'clock, exclusively on the ESPN app, Dominique Mysterio. That's how Jordan Rodgers heads to the booth every night, belt in hand.
Do you have a camera on you today? Broken up on the perimeter. And Martel Height tried to take it to the checkerboard.
I wish I had lettuce like that guy. I'm jealous. That is nice.
By the way, LSU just moments ago I believe they kicked the field goal to go up 3. Aguilar to throw. Catch made by Brazel on one knee. But if LSU wasn't the talk of college football already with the Lane Kiffin sweepstakes, now they have a chance to create chaos in Norman. See if the spot gives them a first down. It does indeed.
This is the difficulty for Tennessee now. Now Vandy's definitely sitting back in zone coverage. 2 high safeties trying to keep everything in front. They're going to let you take those hitches to the outside.
Aguilar's got time. Ducked under one rusher. And then dumps it off incomplete. Trying to find a Sean Bishop. 8:01 remaining.
The field is an incomplete pass.
And again, looking downfield for Chris Brazel. Just really good coverage on the back end. Nowhere to go with the ball. Steve Gregory has called a great game. He's mixed some of those walk-up, cover zero pressures with deep 2 safety looks at times. Giving up a couple explosives, but pretty good job, especially here in the second half.
Little low, but ruled a catch and a first down for Jackson, and now set incomplete.
Yeah, that one was tipped at the line of scrimmage.
Took the back judge to come in and clean it up.
Ooh, I don't know.
That's a catch.
That's a catch, yeah. That was, you could see the spin of the ball there. That one got tipped by 1 or 2 guys at the line of scrimmage.
We'll take a look.
Previous play is under video review. The ruling on the field was the pass was incomplete.
Well, they're getting their money's worth out of the camera down there on the sideline.
Yeah. Yeah, I think so.
On the DB Sport monitor there. And this is a great catch. I really don't think this touches the ground. Great concentration. Because again, he doesn't have control. So if any part of it touches a blade of grass there, then it assisted in some way to that catch. I just feel like there's a little space there. I'm not sure they're going to be able to overturn this one. Oh, that's a great shot. You see, you can still see the orange cleat, so you know there's space under that ball. It's not touching the grass. That's a catch.
After video review, the receiver had possession of the ball and did not touch the ground. It'll be first down Tennessee at the 46-yard line.
It doesn't change the fact that Aguilar has been just a little bit off lately.
Yeah. No doubt, especially on some of the perimeter throws to the sideline. But here's the reality. If they're going to hit a big chunk play, you noticed on the play prior to that one we just saw, they were trying to take the shot, and there's pressure. He's having to navigate the pocket. He's not able to set up and push the ball downfield, so they might have to dedicate one extra blocker, max protect, to try to take a shot.
And ran out of time. Aguilar goes down. Linus Zonk with the sack for Vandy. 3rd sack of the night for the Commodores.
And instead of adding an extra blocker, they go a 5-man protection. And you're going to see right here just Zunk goes right by the left guard, Jesse Perry.
A quick snap to get it off on the completion to Ethan Davis, and Tennessee looking at 3rd and 4.
And you got to continue to have some urgency here.
Pardon me, 3rd and 16.
2 touchdowns down. You're going to be inside 7 minutes here in a second. A lot of clock just ticking right now.
4-man rush again. Aguilar. Incomplete. Jarred loose. Huge hit by Randon Fontenette. And it leaves Tennessee with 4th and 14 with 6:49 to play. And the offense is going to stay on the field.
Wow, what a hit. I mean, that was a perfect ball to Brain, the tight end. And Randon Fontenette was able to put his shoulder pad right on the football. And this is do or die here for Tennessee.
They're 11 of 13 on 4th down this season. Vandy sends the house. Aguilar delivers well short of the sticks to midfield to Chris Brazel. What impact did the pressure have on Aguilar?
Well, sped everything up. He's not feeling like he has time, because if he has time, because of the blitz, if he has time, he can work backside. Instead, he's throwing a route that's short of the sticks anyway. Watch Braylon Staley on the backside on a dig route after this clear out is going to come open. If he has time, he's able to work back there. That's a wide open receiver. Instead, the pressure got to him, and Vandy holds tough.
Pavia show rolls on from Knoxville. He is outgained all of Tennessee 401 to 327 tonight. And he calls his own number again. Good blocking on the perimeter. Pavia shoved out of bounds.
That's a heck of an effort all night from this Vanderbilt defense. Remember, Tennessee averages 491 yards a game. That's one of the top in the country. 4th overall, 2nd in the SEC. And really been stymied, especially in this second half. No explosive plays, not able to sustain drives. The pressure on Joey Aguilar was there over and over again. Really great job by Gregory in that defensive unit.
Yeah, that unit came up with a 4th down stop to get the ball back and get Tennessee off the field. Pavia again. It's hard to imagine a player in modern college football who has had more of an impact on his program than Diego Pavia when he showed up for New Mexico State before last season.
No doubt. Yeah, I mentioned Joe Burrow earlier only because they ended up winning a national championship. It's a big impact, but outside of that, I don't think there is one. And not just for the stats and the wins, but it took him changing the confidence within the locker room and the belief so they could even get to this point. And obviously you plug in the scheme from Tim Beck, which I think is a guy that's wildly underrated for the effect he's had as well. Pavia gets a lot of the credit. Clark Lee gets a lot of the credit, as they're due, but
chance for a home run for Cedric Alexander. He is in. 39-yard touchdown run for Alexander. Flags on the play after the touchdown. Personal fouls coming against Tennessee, and Vandy will snap a 6-game Tennessee win streak in this series, and they will send the Big Orange faithful home early.
That's just what it looks like when you break the spirit of a team. You can tell the frustrations boiled over there after that play from the Tennessee defense.
The result of the play is a touchdown. After the play was over, personal foul, unnecessary roughness, number 5 on the defense. That 15-yard penalty will be added on the kickoff. We'll have the try.
So we swing back and forth. Vandy adds to its lead, but Oklahoma just scored a touchdown against LSU.
Yeah, there's nothing special here. You just slip one tackle. Pressure means there's nobody at the second level, and it's a foot race.
Taylor bangs it through. 45-24 the lead. Now a quick word from Cheez-It.
Okay, Cheese.
50-yarder for the win.
You thinking what I'm thinking?
Ice the kicker.
Something better. Terry.
Did you just get hired?
Dude entered the portal and came out a legend. Want it, need it, cheese it.
21-point lead for Vandy. 5:10 to play. Cedric Alexander's got 3 touchdowns, and he's averaging 11.5 yards a carry.
Is that good?
Not bad. An indication of how physical Vanderbilt is and how skilled Vanderbilt is, and that is in direct relation to what they have been in years prior.
Yeah, and what Clark Lee was able to do, rebuilding this team on the offensive front, on the defensive front. They're built like an SEC team on the trenches, which I don't think you've always been able to say about Vanderbilt. And what a way to follow up. Not just the talk. I mean,
why are you laughing? They're having a terrible
No, I wasn't
weekend.
laughing. I feel for her.
That was mean.
No, I wouldn't.
She's sad.
It was an ugly cry. You know, and she's not gonna love that looking back at it either.
No, probably not. But it'll be on our Instagram before the end of the night.
Yeah. I was gonna say, what a way to follow up. Not just the talk and the confidence that this Vanderbilt program has not been shy about putting out in the media, but for Clark Lee signing a new 6-year deal and then backing it up, getting this team to 10 wins for the first time in school history. If they hold on here, obviously with 5 minutes left, it looks like that.
Plenty of drama. Check in on outside of here. Here's Matt Berry.
Hi, guys. One of the games we're keeping an eye on for obvious reasons is Oklahoma and LSU. Oklahoma trying to punch a ticket to the playoff. Isaiah Satania, wide open, gives the Sooners a 17-13 lead late fourth quarter. Don't forget, coming up, a win tonight for Chandler Morris in Virginia. They punched their ticket to the ACC Championship. That's going to start over on ESPN News until the conclusion of your game.
All right, Matt, thank you. Joey Aguilar going back to work. Fits one in to Ethan Davis, who picks up 15 on first down. Last ditch effort for Tennessee in its high-powered offense. Aguilar backpedaling, and he gets taken down again. The Vanderbilt defense flexing its muscles tonight. Zaylen Wood with the Commodores' 4th sack of the night.
Yeah, sometimes it's great design, sometimes it's missed blocks. That one was just great effort from Wood. Fighting through a block, not giving up.
2nd and South Knoxville to go. Complete to the edge to Ethan Davis. You played your college ball in Vanderbilt. What's it like seeing the program where it is right now?
It's wild. It's wild to think just the historic nature of what they're doing. When you think about a program that's played football, as Tennessee gets a nice pickup here for a first down. A program that's played football since 1890 and never had a 10-win season. You're talking about things that haven't been done in multi-generations.
They're described by one account in regard to the Tennessee Vandy series history, especially after General Neyland took over. Vanderbilt players were described as mostly gentlemen and good losers.
Yeah, it's not what you want to be known for as a football player.
This will be their first ever win in Neyland against a ranked Tennessee team. Blitz coming. They sent the house. Aguilar wanted to go deep as receiver slipped. And Matthews thought he was shoved to the ground. May have missed this one.
And Martell Height, that's... Usually can't do that.
Usually
can't throw a receiver down.
They're down 2. We've got one smile in the group. Corner blitz. Complete for the first down. Chris Brazel the second. Well, an interesting scenario for Tennessee going into the postseason and a bowl berth awaiting them. Destination TBD will be the status of court case to try and get Joey Aguilar and others another season due to his year in junior college ball. And we're talking with Josh Heupel yesterday. The difficulty, the difficulty going through 4 different starting quarterbacks over 4 years. And he said the difference between having a returning quarterback is the difference between in that one play that takes to win a game against a big time opponent. That one play where the game shifts. A veteran makes it. A new guy has to learn from it. Flag on the play in the backfield.
And again, a veteran maybe recognizes a look on game day that you hadn't seen in practice and knows how to adjust in real time because the greater body of work. It's really tough for a program to just hit the reset button from the most important position on the field every offseason. So obviously Joey Aguilar, because of the Diego Pavia lawsuit.
Number 53, 10-yard penalty from the previous spot. Replay, second down.
A potential opportunity to have another year at Tennessee. He is 24 years old. He will have an opportunity at the next level, whatever that looks like. I don't know if that means a draft pick or getting in a camp.
Let me ask you this. Where do you get paid more?
Well, you're going to get paid more in college these days. So
Tim Corbin, 2-time national champion, hanging out with Diego Pavia. Tim Corbin is a huge Diego Pavia fan. I talked to him on the field before the game today. Pavia last year would pop into the Vandy baseball stadium to ask the head coach leadership questions. And there's no better face for the Vanderbilt athletic department and maybe the entire school than Tim Corbin, who runs his program to high standards. And
2 minutes.
He and his wife Maggie are huge Pavia fans. And Diego Pavia will take Vandy to a place it's never been. 2 minutes away from a 10-win season. Peyton and Eli on ESPN2. Coverage starts with NFL Live at 3 Eastern. Then SVP and the Monday Night Countdown crew at 6 Eastern. Peyton was here in Knoxville on Monday, do his show from the football facility. Pressure coming up the middle. Aguilar off his back foot. And Davis can't haul it in. Covered on the back end by Marlon Sewell.
Boy, how about Vanderbilt not backing down with the pressure? You're saying if you're going to complete a pass, you're going to do it falling away with 2 or 3 defenders in your face. It's been a tough night for Joey Aguilar in the pocket. Hasn't had the ability to stand in there and step into a throw for a while.
Yeah. Aguilar again off his back foot. And incomplete. Brazel that time. Can't believe he didn't get the flag.
I mean, they're letting a lot of contact go. That play, the previous play. Again, though, I said it to start the game. They set the tone early on what they were going to allow on the outside, and they've kind of maintained that on both sides.
It's a second 4th down stop and turnover on downs this half for the Vanderbilt defense. They hold this high-powered Tennessee offense to just 24 points. And the Commodores going to be in the college football playoff discussion, and Diego Pavia's likely earned himself a trip to New York City as a Heisman finalist. So land a 6-game Vanderbilt losing streak to Tennessee. Meanwhile, they're taking a knee in Norman, and Oklahoma's going to survive LSU.
Now, one of those dominoes that doesn't fall for a potential Vandy college football playoff bid. They needed Oklahoma to lose. Notre Dame or Alabama still out there playing tonight. Would love if one of those teams got upset. It's going to be tough.
The late night watching Notre Dame on the West Coast at Stanford right here on ESPN. Dump off. And out of bounds to stop the clock goes Mykylan Young. How about Diego Pavia's day?
Yeah, it's really his legs that open this game wide up. 159 yards on the ground for him. Another 268 through the air. Obviously, those 2 interceptions, he bounced back and he dropped a few dimes later in this game. That one to Trent Richardson down the sideline. The little hesitation on the long run. And then getting all the big boys involved.
Last 4 games, they have averaged better than 41 points and 530 yards of offense. Of note, all of those have come against SEC foes. Pavia past midfield. So, you know what the odds makers say, that odds are slim that Vanderbilt can leapfrog enough of those bubble teams get an at-large berth to the college football playoff. I feel like style points were going to come into play tonight. And you look at how Vandy dominated the second half. You're going to win this thing by 3 touchdowns. That's a lot of style for Clark Lee.
Yeah, 45-24, 577 total yards of offense. And also they held Tennessee to just 382 yards of offense, over 100 below their yearly average. It's a pretty dominating performance in one of the more difficult places to play in college football.
This will be Vandy's first ever win in Neyland Stadium against a ranked Tennessee team. The first time they met as top 25 opponents. Clark Lee's contract extension looks like money well spent. Vanderbilt, for the first time in program history, will move to 10 wins on the season. And now the Commodores await their postseason fate, with the conference championships set for next weekend. Here's Young, and he stays in bounds, and that will do it. Vanderbilt goes to 10-2 on the season, and the Commodores, behind Diego Pavia and head coach Clark Lee, joined at the hip for the most successful season in Vandy football history, and still at least 1 game to go. A convincing victory on the road against their rivals. Pavia Mafia having a night, at least those still in the stadium. Let's get down the field. Here's Cole Kublik.
Coach, you took your wife to dinner for her birthday Thanksgiving evening. Did you two have a conversation about what it might be like one day when someone says, who was the head coach for the greatest individual season in Vanderbilt football history?
We did not. Believe it or not, we talk about other things, but Cole, I appreciate that, man. What a gutty effort by our team and our staff. I mean, I can't say enough about these guys and their belief in what we were building, their belief in their stepping into the practice and getting it done and coming out here and beating a tough Tennessee team. I mean, it doesn't get better.
It's a team effort. It's been a group effort to build this thing the way that you have, but what does it say for Diego Pavia to have the night that he had tonight for you guys to solidify and finalize this season?
I just don't know what else he needs to do. I mean, he needs to be in New York. He's the best player in the country. He showed it again tonight, and it wasn't perfect. I think one of his best attributes is his resilience. So he battled through the interceptions, and I thought, again, led our team in critical moments. And again, the way this team played in the second half, I mean, just a credit to our players and staff. I'm so proud of them.
Thank you very much, Coach.
Thanks, Cole.
Diego Pavia, the heart and soul of this Vanderbilt program, with Jerry Kill and emotions on the Vandy sideline. Once again, our final score: Vanderbilt 45, Tennessee 24. For Jordan Rogers, Cole Kublik, our fantastic crew.